ahead.
We'll start, sir. Very good morning, everyone. Our Honorable Chief Minister, friends from the media fraternity, academicians, concerned citizens, all the stakeholders. I see stakeholders from the farmers' side, from various groups are there here. A very, very good morning, and we want to welcome you all formally to the pre-budget consultation for this year. I'll just give a short context. As you all know, our Honorable Chief Minister started this tradition last year of doing pre-budget consultations with all the stakeholders so that the ideas, the thought processes, the concerns of everybody, the stakeholders ultimately can be captured and to the extent possible can be addressed or incorporated in the upcoming budget. As we all know, budget is a very, very important part of the overall development planning for the whole year for the state, for any state. The union budget is usually presented on the 1st of February. 1st of February is a standard date on which union budget is presented. Prior to that, the finance minister also does consultations with government, non-government, industry, and with a whole host of people. So those consultations were done, the union budget is presented. Once the union budget is presented, the states get to know what is the kind of monies they are getting, what is the kind of money that schemes are getting. Based on that, so the states finalize their budgets. As you all know, our assembly session starts from the 16th of February, and the Honorable Chief Minister, who is also the Finance Minister, will be presenting the budget. It will be his 8th budget on the 20th of February. So today, therefore, is the right time. We still have the time to hear everybody's views, to understand, what are your concerns, and to take forward those in the best way possible. So that is the overall context of today's meeting. I once again welcome everyone. I particularly welcome the Honorable Chief Minister. I'm sorry, I think it's a little hotter than we expected, because yesterday we were here for another program at Watts Lake, but that was at 4 o'clock and it was very cold. So that's why we moved it here, assuming that we need sun. But I hope it won't be too uncomfortable. With these few words, we'll start the program. And to start the program, I request our Honorable Chief Minister to give some opening comments. Thank you so much.
Our Commissioner and Secretary for Finance, all the officials of the Finance Department, all the officials of the Planning Department, different stakeholders from different sectors who have joined us here today for this pre-budget consultation exercise, and all my dear friends who are present out here today. I first of all would like to thank all of you for taking your time and joining us here on this very, very important budget exercise that we are going to do today. I also apologize because we had to shift the date by a day. I want to clarify on that also. Normally I don't do that. But as you all know that I had to rush to Delhi. There was a very important meeting with the Finance Minister. And we'll be giving you a small presentation. And in that presentation, you will understand why I had to rush to Delhi. And the meeting was, of course, positive. And hopefully, we'll be able to find a solution to some of the problems that we face because of the new devolution formula of the 16th Finance Commission. So we will share all of those details with you today so that you get a sense of what the state is going through and the finances that we have and how we are moving forward. So just to share with you how we will do this entire exercise is because we feel that sometimes we don't understand the entire picture. I think it is important to understand the holistic picture of what's happening. And in that larger context, what are things that are happening? And in the different aspects of the different subjects that we'll be working on, what is the impact? And obviously in that, what suggestions you can give us where we might miss out some small things which could actually have a huge impact on the people. So after that presentation, we will open up the discussion so that you can give your points and your suggestions on how we can improve the budget. As correctly mentioned by Dr. Vijay, the entire purpose of this exercise is not to say that we will incorporate everything that everybody says. So please don't take it otherwise. If tomorrow you find that what you suggested is not there in the budget, it cannot be there. We have to work with whatever limitations that we have. But what is important is to be able to listen and to be able to understand the aspirations and the concerns that citizens have. What is it that people really want? And as I said, sometimes in our own vision, in our own ideas, in our own thoughts, we think that there is something that people want, whereas in actuality, people want something else. So I'm hoping that all of you will be able to throw a bit of light on all those aspects and maybe give us suggestions. I hope that you have gone through the previous budgets and seen the areas of importance and focus that we have worked on so that you can give us practical suggestions. And of course, even if you have not, I still urge all of you to please suggest. So we will come to that, but this was just an opening remark. After that, I would request Dr. Vijay to once again take the stage and give the presentation on the finance and to showcase to all of you the summarized story of the last 8 years, how things have been, and then we will discuss about the budget 2026-2027. Once again, I welcome you all and thank you all for taking your time for coming to this pre-budget consultation. Thank you so much.
That place is a little shade. There's a little shade. You better sit there. Yeah, you can move. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. With those, as you said, we'll straight jump into the presentation. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much, sir. So again, as you said, so I think we want to show, what is it? It's not just exercise in what will happen next year, but it's also to kind of give a summary or a little bit of an analysis of what has happened in the last 8 years. Not moving. Yeah. So again, I like to start with this. So we all know the importance of finance. I think everybody knows this is a quote from Arthashastra. This is Kautilya. He said, Dhanam moolam idam jagat. Means the whole world revolves around money. Money is the base of everything. This, I think, everybody knows. So, and this is an interesting one because always people, when we talk about in finance, when we talk about growth, when we talk about investment, we see people write articles saying that, "Arey, is growth everything? Why should we focus on growth? What about, poverty?" So there's a lot but I think growth is important. That we'll see as we move along. And how does growth happen is also very important to know. So this is a very simple formula which all of us learn in the first class of macroeconomics when you do, which is growth is a function of consumption, which is, this is how citizens contribute to growth. That's why, they reduce GST so that people can spend more and, there is higher consumption. Private investment, which is basically private sector comes and makes the investments. Government expenditure, government spends, and net exports. So it's a function of these four things. So as a state government, we only can do the middle two. We only can influence the middle two. A little bit of consumption, but mostly private investment and government expenditure. But we also know that even in private investment, there are challenges in Meghalaya because of our, the distance from the markets, our land tenure systems. Because of all these things, we don't get the entire Northeast, not just Meghalaya, doesn't get much of private investment. So we get some private investment, but very little. Today, in hotels and all, private people are coming and investing, but it's mostly government expenditure which has to contribute to our growth. That is our reality. Because we can't attract too much private investment. We are state government. We can't boost consumption by doing fiscal policy because fiscal policy is the ambit of the government of India and, of course, net exports. So therefore, the state has consciously chosen a government expenditure as a way to boost growth. Now, this is very important. We keep showing this. So if we look at the growth rate, just the GSDP growth numbers, these numbers are from our published numbers from the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. So if you look at the growth rates of Meghalaya, if you look at the period, we have just taken the CAGR from 16 to 20. So it was growing at about 8%. Then post, of course, COVID was a slump. Then post-COVID, today we are one of the fastest growing state. Today, in fact, in 2025, we were the second fastest growing state in the country after Tamil Nadu. It's a big thing. I mean, we are in the league of Tamil Nadu, at least, you know, in one aspect. So that's a big thing. So we are growing at the rate of Tamil Nadu in last year, that was 24-25. But overall, post-COVID, our growth has been exceptional. Then post-COVID, also, if you look at the expansion of the economic size, so our economy grew by 76%. This is again number 3. The Assam's grew the highest, 89%, UP 77%. So Meghalaya grew at 76%, the just size of the economy. So and also we are the only state to be recording 10% growth rate consecutively in real terms. So these are all good things. And the last table, if you see, and this is the table that actually AG office sent to us to kind of show that Meghalaya consistently post-COVID is growing higher than India's average. As you know, India, the growth rate of India is very impressive. It is celebrated, and on the strength of that, a lot of good things are happening. But we are going better than the country. And we need to, because we are a poorer state. We need to grow better than the country to be able to catch up. Because it's a fact that if you look at our per capita income is lower than the national average. So therefore, our per capita income is in the range of 90,000. The national average is 1.2 lakhs. So for us to catch up and cross the national average, so we will have to grow higher than India, and that's what we are doing. So if you look at the national growth rate, last year was about 10%, ours is 12%. So it has been the same through the years. This is the story of our state as we look at it from the Planning and Finance Department and the Honorable Chief Minister's vision, which is, if we look at, we call this, I think in the budget of 2022, when the state was celebrating 50 years, when we were celebrating 50 years of statehood, Honorable Chief Minister said we have to make this the Meghalayan decade. We all know we live in the Meghalayan age, so we are building the beautiful building opposite, you would have seen, that's coming up. So that will be a place where there will be a Meghalayan age store, and we'll celebrate the Meghalayan age there. So we live in the Meghalayan age. We take pride in that, and we are kind of, we use various fora to tell that. But we want to make this decade, as Honorable CM said in his budget speech, the Meghalayan decade, which means this will be the decade where Meghalaya will come out of, so much of problems that we had. We will build on from 2018 to 22. We solved several fundamental problems in the power sector, in the road sector. Still, there's a long way to go. But I think from where we were in 2018, by 22, number of problems were solved. So from 22 to 32 is this very ambitious vision where we have to further solve the existing problems, build on what we have achieved, and that's why we call this the transformation phase, acceleration and delivery. And from 2032 to 2047, which is the Honorable Prime Minister's, the nation's vision of a Viksit Bharat, India becoming a developed country, there we consolidate and we become a $100 billion economy as we move along. So today the goal is we should become a $10 billion economy by 28, that we are already on track, and become a $16 billion economy by 32. So this is the overall, there's a detailed vision, and there's a vision document which outlines how we achieve this. This is the overall one slide summary of what is the vision and what is the mission. Yes, sir.
Of course, Vijay will continue with the presentation, but I just thought that this is an important slide for all of us to understand. That while a lot of people think that for us 10 billion is all that is important, 10 billion is a number that guides us towards a target. But how do we get to that target? It's not just simply saying, okay, we'll be 10 billion just because we were 5 billion before. No, it's not like that. So when we said 10 billion, we said to get to 10 billion, what are the 10 key areas that we need to focus on? And that's what you see on top, the red, the orange one. So we realize that there's an opportunity in tourism. There's an opportunity in agriculture and high-value horticulture. There's an opportunity in entrepreneurship and skilling, urban transformation. We just inaugurated the first multi-level car parking right in front of the additional secretariat. So you can see those top 10 areas where we're going to move forward in. But more importantly, we have a plan for each one of them. So it's not just that we say, oh, tourism will grow. How will tourism grow? What do we have to do? What are the policies we have to create? What are the incentives we have to give? Which are the areas we will focus on? What is the ecosystem we need to create? All of that has been worked on and we know exactly where we want to go. For example, we have now, just to share with you, we have 2 5-stars. We will be having 4 more are under construction. So by 2029, we'll have 6 5-star hotels. We have just yesterday finalized 4 more 5-star hotels. So by 2032, we will have 10 5-star hotels in our state. Similarly, we have 837 homestays today. But by 2032, we will have 3,000 homestays. We have flights landing from different parts of the country today. By 2027 end, we will have our runway extended and we will be connected to every single metro in the nation. So there is a plan and a roadmap worked out in each of these areas, and how that will create jobs for our people has also been worked out. So that's what these 10 things are. This is just a summary, but there's a micro analysis on each one of them. But more importantly, while we try to move towards these opportunities that are there, the question is, what does 10 billion have to do for me? What about the farmers who are there in Mokurwat area? What about the youth from Bakmara? What about our farmers and other people from different parts of the state? How do they benefit? What is our social commitment? What is our equity commitment to the people of our state? And that's where, while we grow, we want that growth to be targeting certain commitments that we make to the people. And that means improved connectivity and mobility, housing for all, pipe drinking water for all. So these are commitments, affordable health care for all. And therefore, our investments we make and the growth that we achieve and the expenditure of the government that is made will work towards ensuring that while the economy is growing and moving forward because of government expenditure, these commitments that we have made to the people are kept in mind. And how we will do it, each one has been worked out. So I just wanted to share that aspect also, so that all of you are aware that this not just a 10 billion is not just a number. There is a whole story and a strategy behind this 10 billion number.
Thank you, sir. So we'll continue. Yeah. So now I come back to that, the formula of growth and the public expenditure, government expenditure, which is what is in our control. So if we look at the year, so basically we all know, I think all of us, have, lived in Meghalaya. We know how the things were in 2014, 2015, especially after the ban on coal mining and all. So there was very little government expenditure. If you see from 2014, if we take a 12-year perspective, the overall expenditure was 6,800 crores. Last year, we made an expenditure of 23,476 crores. So this is 4 times increase. So 4 times, 3.5 times increase. So, and if you look at other states or the country and all, the increases are in the range of 2.5 to 3 maximum. So we have crossed 3. We are almost, the expenditure of the state has increased. So we have expanded the state. We have increased what the state can deliver to citizens by 3.5 times, just in terms of the expenditure. And in that, if you see revenue and capital, so revenue expenditure, again, revenue expenditure is the expenditure that we do to meet day-to-day expenses, to run schemes, to pay salaries, pensions, interest payments, and all that. And capital expenditure is the creation of capital assets. Both are important, but obviously capital expenditure has a higher multiplier. In many states in the country today, the tragedy is that because there is so much of, there is very little money, they are not able to do capital expenditure. That was our tragedy also. If you look at 2014, our capital expenditure was 1,259, which means this is the money that is spent on building new roads, building new water supply schemes, building new power supply schemes, building hospitals, building schools. So that was 1,259. Last year it was 4,395. So the capital expenditure has increased, 6,395. So the capital expenditure we have increased by more than 5 times. The overall expenditure we increased by more than 3.5 times. The capital expenditure we increased. That means while we are spending money, we are also spending money on, obviously, as I said, both revenue and capital are important. For example, we launched a new scheme for farmers. There is a CM Assure. Last year, when so many broomgrass farmers came and met the Honorable Chief Minister and the Honorable Agriculture Minister, so a new scheme was launched called CM Assure, where we spent 53 crores. Most of that money went directly into the accounts of about 15,000 farmers, about 42,000 rupees. So a scheme like that is revenue expenditure, but it's a necessary scheme because these broom grass farmers had to be given some solace and comfort and support. So basically, while we are the 3 points, our expenditure is increasing much higher than even the national levels. Our revenue expenditure is also increasing, but our capital expenditure is increasing more than the revenue expenditure. That means even while spending, we are careful. We are not just doing only revenue expenditure. We are doing a lot of capital expenditure so that it can have that multiplier effect. Now, this is the higher quality of revenue expenditure. That's what I'm saying. So in revenue expenditure comprises of basically the fundamental components of revenue expenditure are salaries, pensions, interest payments, and others. Others is, as I said, schemes. So various like health insurance scheme. Health insurance scheme comes under revenue expenditure. The state spends 200 crores on MHIS. So similarly, drug procurement. We spend about 150 to 200 crores on procurement of medicines. So all these are revenue expenditure. But the key component in revenue expenditure, or the bigger component, is always salaries, pensions, and interest payments. So if you see, our salaries growth is also not very high. So this is another, it's not that we are not expanding the state, but we are expanding service delivery. So with the same number of people, we are able to spend more money. Our salaries growth rate is nominal, but the growth rate of the green bar, if you see, is the other, no, the green is salary, sorry. The orange one, the others. The others have increased from 3,200 crores to 9,600 crores. This is again a 3 times increase. So whereas salaries have only doubled, the other revenue expenditure, which is basically, as I said, the money that we spend on maintenance or power. Power is a very big thing. I mean, in 2018, the power situation was so bad, a decision was taken by the Honorable Chief Minister, a very tough decision.
Just to share with all of you so that you are aware of this, and I think it's important that citizens should know that, we had huge load shedding. And at that point in time, MECL was, below the water level. And they were not able to pay salaries, they were not able to pay the interest, they were not able to pay, the purchase of power, so on and so forth. And that's because it's been for the past. It's nothing to do with like one reason. There are multiple reasons, but it led to a large number of inefficiency in the system. And we had to slowly, so our AT&C losses were at 35% at that point in time. So that's, transmission and distribution losses. So therefore, those losses were at 35% at one point in time. And the national average used to be about 15%. And we were at 35%. So in the last many years, so for example, power department. So a lot of you must be wondering, so load shedding is not there. Yes, there are, power is cut sometimes because, we have to do maintenance work. We have to do new projects are being implemented. 1,000 crores worth of projects are going on right now to change more than 2,000 transformers. 1,000 kilometers of power lines are being replaced. So all this maintenance and upgradation work is going on, because of which we have to switch off the power supply. It's not regulated, power cuts or load shedding. But you've seen the last few years, there's been no load shedding. So it's not that it just happened just like that. Meghalaya government every year is giving an average of about 900 crores to MECL to be above the water. With this 900 crores, they're able to pay the salaries, they're able to, so you all know that MECL is an independent autonomous body. It's not government, technically speaking. Government holds all the shares, but they're autonomous in nature. So government has to give money to them so that they're able to pay interest. So we've been paying 900 crores every year for the last 3 years so that there's no load shedding for the people and people can have stable power supply. But now, after all this, reforms took place. And in those reforms, you'll be happy to know today that the AT&C losses that were at 35% in 2018, today are at 10%. We are below the national average. So it's not that we're just simply funding them, we're allowing them to transition and come into a more efficient process by hand-holding them, allowing them to ensure that stable power supply is given and they're stable, and and at the same time reform. So power is a great story. I hope we'll get a chance to share that with you someday. But maybe today is not the day, but I just thought I'll touch on that also.
Thank you, sir. So the last point in this is some of you may be thinking why pensions is growing so high. So pensions is growing so high because, again, like the rest of the country, we transitioned to the new pension scheme. So which means we are, instead of pushing all the burden of pensions, what is new pension scheme? New pension scheme means instead of paying people pensions when they retire, for all the government employees who we have recruited post 2010, we are paying their pensions right now. We are contributing to the pension pool. It's a contributory pension, the new pension scheme. So everybody who is in the government after 2010, there is a pool, they are contributing 10%, we are contributing 10%. Recently, it has been increased to 14% from the government side. So 24% is put in their kitty. So which means when all these people retire after 30 years, we don't have to pay pensions for them. So the pension bill will go up now, but slowly when people start retiring, when the new pension people after 20 years, so their pensions we are paying now. So that's the reason why the pensions has gone up. So this is the important point. This is what I think I already alluded to. This is the evolving welfare administration. So what are we doing? So how are we spending all this money? This is basically, if we look at again 2018, government was primarily implementing Government of India schemes, central government schemes, NEC schemes, donor schemes. That's it. There were not that many. There were a few state schemes. I'm not saying there were no state schemes. There was the MLA scheme. There was the housing scheme. There were a few. There was the health insurance scheme at a smaller scale. But today, if you look, all this money, in addition to capital projects, a plethora of schemes, and let us be very clear, these are not freebies. I think the problem when we go to Government of India is happy with states like ours because we are not doing freebies. If you look at the larger states and many of the states in the country today, it's basically freebies, which means that to everyone I'll transfer 10,000 into your account, 20,000 into your account, that kind of stuff. But these are schemes these are schemes which are targeted to achieve something. So a homestay scheme, we are giving 70% subsidy. It's a huge subsidy. But then the beneficiaries are selected carefully. They are given, it promotes entrepreneurship, it promotes growth, it promotes jobs. So you take a prime scheme. Yesterday, again, as I said, we had a beautiful program. So we are giving each of these, we do a big competition. 4,000 people applied. Out of them, we selected 100 people. And to those, yesterday, sir gave checks of 2 lakhs, 1 lakh rupees to support them. So like this, a number of schemes where beneficiaries, and also these are also region specific in the sense that, so we look at the strength of the regions. Floriculture, for example, is a huge scheme of the government where we are giving, I think, 90% subsidy in some cases. So we have realized that in our temperate areas, especially in Shillong, Upper Shillong, Maukanru, all these areas, there's huge potential to grow orchids. We can become the orchid capital of the country. So there we are giving a 90% subsidy. But similar in Garo Hills, we know orchids don't grow. So in Garo Hills, there are dendrobium, which grows. So there we are doing that. So this is a strategy. These are schemes which are meant to carefully look at our strengths. Same in mushroom, for example. So we are doing shiitake mushroom in here. We are doing the oyster mushroom in the Garo Hills. We are doing button mushroom in the more colder areas. So we are looking at what are the opportunities the state has and how to put money in the hands of people who can actually generate value, growth, employment for the state. So this is how the money of the state is being spent. So which is basically through a plethora of schemes. Sports is a big thing. Sports scholarships, again, CM sir was mentioning day before in some meeting in the cabinet. So when the sports scholarships, I think in 2018, there's barely anything being given to people who win any kinds of medals. Today we have a scheme where we are giving 6,000 rupees to any sports person who wins during the year, so that at least they can buy some kind of
Per month.
per month. So per month for 1 year. For people who win medals, so that they're able to buy shoe, they're able to practice on their sport. So like this in a targeted way. The distinction I want to make is this is not carpet bombing of just distributing money. This is a very systematic, thought through method of giving money where it really is needed, where it can generate jobs. Health, again, Chief Minister's Safe Motherhood Scheme is such a big hit. So I think a lot of analysis, I think CM sir took so many review meetings, visited so many PHCs. So it was understood that the reason why maternal mortality is happening is because they are not coming to institutions, and they are not coming to institutions is because they are living in such remote villages. So I think this is the only scheme, this is the only such scheme in this country where there are transit homes around our PHCs and CHCs. Mothers are brought in 1 week before. They stay in that transit home. They are given food. They are given, a caretaker is also given some support. And then they do the delivery. And after the delivery, they go. So this is again. So the point is, we had a Janani Suraksha Yojana. That's the Government of India scheme. That's what we were implementing before. The Janani Suraksha Yojana is designed for the whole country.
It doesn't take into account the peculiar circumstances that we have, the peculiar challenges that we have. It just says, I'll give 2,000 rupees to every mother. You use that money, you come to the hospital, get institutional delivery. But 2,000 rupees is not enough. We need to educate them. We need to provide a system where they can stay. So that's what the CM Safe Motherhood program does, building on the existing Government of India program. So now that has led to a 50% reduction in infant mortality and maternal mortality. So I think this is how money is being spent. Again, the same thing. So CM Farm Plus is another very interesting thing. Sir made a field visit to Nokrek. I still remember this. When we made this field visit, so we know all this. There's forest burning and there is Jhum and all. So the Nokma, we asked the Nokma, why are you doing this? So the Nokma said, if you give me Bagan, I will stop burning the forest. So that was the impetus for creating a scheme where we give, these cash crops to all the areas where we have a lot of land, we have a lot of fertile land. So how do we, from there it came this CM Farm Plus, where we are giving seedlings to the farmers to do high value crops. We are doing longer gestation crops, which are of high value, because we have the opportunity to become the new Kerala with all the potential that we have in spices, etc. Similarly, in other sectors, if you look at health, education, sports, homestay mission, we spoke about, Prime, we spoke about. So these are all the things. CM Elevate is another very, very interesting thing where we select the beneficiaries, and about 3,000 beneficiaries have now been selected, and they are being given. So we see all these Prime vehicles in the rural areas. More needs to be done, without a doubt. Absolutely more needs to be done, and absolutely many of these schemes need to become better. I'm not saying they are the best schemes. They are good schemes which need to improve, and that's, I think, the purpose of this conversation. So this is another very interesting thing, because we always like to, because whatever we do, we don't do, development is not happening in a vacuum, expenditures are not happening in a vacuum. If we have to see how well we are doing, we always have to compare. So I think for a comparative perspective, if you look at the revenue expenditure, we just took all the states, the salary, pension and interest payments as a percentage of the revenue expenditure. So Meghalaya there are like 10-15 states above us, we are in the sustainable range. So our salaries, pensions and interest payments is 42% of the revenue expenditure. That means the rest of the money is being used to really solve real problems. So to run old age homes, to provide additional supplementary nutrition for children. That is something that we have started only last year in a pilot mode. So this is if you look at other states, so some of the states are having 73% of the revenue expenditure is committed to salaries, pensions and interest, which means there is literally no money left to do anything else. So we are in a good place. We'll continue to improve this. There's a lot of effort to augment our own resources also. I'll come to that in a bit. CapEx, I already explained. We are focusing on capital expenditure. The state is focusing as a policy principle, because capital expenditure, the multiplier effects are more. It will lead to more other infrastructure coming. For example, a standard example, if you take schools, for example. So there are lots of, one of our fundamental problems, which I think everybody here should know, is that we have large number of villages. We are the topper in the country in terms of per capita number of villages. We have 6,900 or 7,000 plus villages, whereas comparable states like Manipur and Nagaland have half that number. Tripura has about, much lesser number, a 1,400 number. So for us, service delivery is a big challenge. So that's why we are doing, a whole bunch of capital expenditure, so that if we invest in roads, we may not be able to build a great hospital in every village. But if we have better road connectivity, then people will be able to move. We also came up, last year, Transport Department came up with a scheme to strengthen connectivity between districts. So we all know, for example, again in the Garo Hills, here again, same with Jaintia Hills, East Jaintia Hills. If people come to Shillong to market, how do they go back? There is no bus service. So Transport Department has come up with a scheme, and that's also 50% subsidized by the state government. So basically, we are focusing on capital expenditure so that we can solve this fundamental problem of infrastructure. We develop capital expenditure so that for service delivery, people are more mobile, people are able to get the multiplier effects. So this is from our budget numbers and from the AG's numbers. Every sector expenditures have increased substantially. That's why all the good things that are happening, I think people don't give enough credit for the good things that are happening in the state. I think obviously it's the right of people to criticize in a democracy. But I think anything that is happening on the strength of better money being pumped in, because unless we have the resources, of course, better governance, improved governance is definitely needed, but resources are essential. Now, how are we getting these resources? This is another point, because people always, again, one of the criticisms or one of the points of contention, oh, we are dependent on Delhi, oh, we don't have our own money. We are dependent on borrowings. That's another big this thing.
Taking too much of loan.
Yeah, we are taking too much of loan. That's another criticism or point that keeps coming. So this is, again, these are all AG numbers. They are all, we just compiled from the AG data only. So if we look at just the numbers, in terms of the receipts, from a 7,899 crore in FY16, so today our receipts are about 22,000 crores. This is last year. So this year it will be a little higher. So 22,000 crores, again, this is a 3 times increase in the receipts. And if you see, it is the state's receipts which are going up. It's not, that there are 3 kinds of receipts. There's total receipts, there's borrowings, and there is state's receipts.
Just go on top there. If you can see the color combination on top, the borrowings is the bright green. The dull green is the central schemes. The state's own resources, when we say state's resources, which means state's own overall taxes we collect, plus the share of central taxes, which we will explain to you a bit later. So if you look at the number, that light purple, that chart, the light purple space is the space that is growing. This is the receipts, means this is the money that we get to spend on all the things we are spending. And therefore you can see the bright green section is right there below. It is the least number. These are not our numbers, these are facts. So today anybody who would say that, oh, we are borrowing too much, everything is done by borrowing, we are taking money, this is AG numbers. Right now, out of the 21,757 crores, 16,312 are our own resources. And only 2,370 is borrowings, which is as per Government of India and Reserve Bank's norms. So this is a very, very important slide. We will share this with all of you because we want all of you to understand this. But I just wanted to stress on that because I know, the mind, a lot of you must be thinking, okay, we're growing, we're spending, but where's the money coming from? Money is coming from the taxes that we collect. And we'll explain to you what those taxes are. I think there's a chart on the taxes part. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So yeah, so and borrowings on, so basically, no state can borrow beyond the limits set by the Government of India and the Reserve Bank. The way borrowings happen is, we get what is called borrowing permission. This is mandated and determined under Article 293 of the Constitution. So these are called OMB, open market borrowings. So the Finance Ministry issues a borrowing permission. Using that permission, we can send a letter to RBI and RBI borrows on our behalf. That's what borrowing is. That's how borrowings work. And Government of India has fixed that borrowings have to be only 3.5% of the GDP. So today our GDP is 60,000 crores, is 65,000 crores. So if our GDP is 65,000 crores, it is 3% of that. So 3% of 65,000 crores is basically about 1,900 crores. And then, because of this NPS burden that we are paying, all states, this is for all states, this is not Meghalaya formula, this is for, so whatever we are contributing in the NPS today, Government of India allows us to borrow that also. So we are contributing about 350 crores into the NPS, which is the new pension scheme corpus. So together that becomes 2,370, that's it. So next year, let's say our GDP becomes 1 lakh crores. Our GDP becomes 1 lakh crores, 1 lakh multiplied with 3.5 is 3,500. So then we can multiply we can borrow 3,500 crores. There is no way today with our GDP, we can borrow more than what we are borrowing. So therefore, this whole thing of borrowing, and Government of India is very cognizant. We are again one of the states with lesser debt and lesser borrowing. We are in the middle. We are not the best, we are not the worst. I'll come to that numbers also. But there are many states where the borrowings and debt burdens have become so high. Therefore, in 2021, post-COVID, as part of complete fiscal restructuring of the country, they came up, they plugged every loophole. There's no loophole now. Previously, there were some loopholes, which we never used, but other states, bigger states use. The loophole is you can borrow through corporations. Like MECL will go and borrow. But then ultimately, if MECL defaults, state government has to pay. So we have very little off-budget borrowings. We have no off-budget borrowings. All our borrowings, whatever we do, is through the budget, and that 3.5% mandated and by the Government of India. And there is no way we can. It's not that borrowing doesn't mean, I think there is a simplistic sense. People think, oh, we are going to some bank or some World Bank and all, telling them, please give us money. Borrowing can only happen based on a borrowing permission issued by Government of India, and Reserve Bank borrows on our behalf. We don't borrow. Reserve Bank borrows and gives. Because if Reserve Bank borrows, it gets a better rate for everyone. So that's the overall story. Now, as sir was saying, so how are we, this is our own resources story. So if you look at our own resources, again, I'll go from the top. So the 2,540 number is grants from the Government of India. That is the SASCI actually. So we will come to SASCI in a bit. So if you see that the 2,540 number, it was not there before. I mean, those grants were very small. So those grants have become very big. The 9,870 is the big one. That is the share of central taxes that we get. Again, there is this narrative that we are taking from Government of India. This is our right. We are not taking anything that is not our due.
So we will explain this again later on. But I think all of you must have heard the word Finance Commission. So we all know Finance Commission, Finance Commission, Finance Commission. So what is Finance Commission? So Finance Commission is a commission that is mandated to distribute direct taxes. So as you know, we have direct tax and we have indirect tax. So for those who don't know, direct taxes are what? Is income tax and corporate tax. And indirect taxes are GST mostly, and some VAT, and then we have non-tax revenue, royalty, etc. But majority at the national level, it's direct tax is indirect. So GST is indirect tax. Now what Finance Commission does is all the income tax collected throughout the nation. Income tax. So whoever pays income tax contributes to that. And corporate tax. So majority, obviously, we know that in tribal areas, we don't pay income tax. So majority of the tax comes from, say, larger states, larger cities, and, tax areas. So this tax which is collected is then distributed to the states. And this is the formula that the Finance Commission comes out with. And we will explain that a bit later to you. But Finance Commission then comes out with a formula and says out of this whole tax that is collected, there is, of course, a vertical devolution, which means how much should go to center, how much should go to states. And then apart from the states, how much we get, there's a breakage in a horizontal devolution where how much should Maharashtra get out of that 41%, how much should Meghalaya get. They devolve a formula out of this whole thing. That is the Finance Commission's role. And this amount of this tax or share of central taxes, as we call it, is a constitutional right of a state. So once Finance Commission, even though the tax was not collected in Meghalaya, so as you all know, we don't pay taxes, most population in tribal state, but the taxes collected in Maharashtra or the taxes collected in Gujarat or Delhi or other states, we have bare minimum. Those taxes are all pooled together and then are divided by a formula, and that becomes a constitutional right of Meghalaya. And that's what the federal system is all about. And that's what this entire share of central taxes is. Though, as I said, it's not our taxes or not the taxes our people paid, but because of the constitutional mandate, we have a right over that. And the percentage of that, how much that right is determined by the Finance Commission. And that's what the Finance Commission made its report and gave that formula on the 1st of February. We will talk about that a bit later, but that's what the share is. It's a share of central taxes, but as I said, it's our constitutional right to get it because that's what the Constitution mandates under the federal structure.
Thank you, sir. So if we see, it's the share of central taxes which has gone up. From 3,200 crores, we have touched 10,000 crores. So again, this is more than a 3 times growth, and this is primarily because the country is growing. So we are part of a growing country, a growing economy. So that is the taxes that we get. The bottom ones are our effort. So these are our own taxes, the taxes that we collect in Meghalaya, the GST, the indirect taxes, and the non-tax revenue. Of course, non-tax revenue keeps fluctuating. That 474 is the non-tax revenue because that is the, from mining, from forest, etc., for various reasons, relating to court orders and all that. Because of that, it keeps fluctuating. But if you see the GST and excise and other taxes that we collect in the state on which we have control, that also from 1,000, we are at 3,473. Again, more than 3 times we have increased. So the tax collection, so the things where we have control are our taxes, that 3,473. And the top one is the big one. The top one, this is a new scheme that Government of India has introduced to give grants to states to make expenditure. So there, this scheme was started in 2020. From there, we have just been leveraging a lot of money in that scheme, so which is giving us a lot of that money. So therefore, ultimately, the money that is ours, the money that we are spending, the state government is spending, is coming primarily from the share of central taxes, which is our constitutional right, from grants, which we are working hard through improved governance, through able to submit proposals on time, through able to utilize proposals on time, and through our own tax effort. So which is both GST, excise and all, and transport.
Just want to add here, just go back. So this is also something that I want to share with all of you. That if you look at the top number, which is that 2540, just to explain what this means. So this is again a scheme that is called the Special Assistance to States on Capital Investment, SASCI. It's a 50-year interest-free loan, which means that today if government of Meghalaya takes 500 crores, in 2075, we have to pay back 500 crores. So if you discount the value, those who are economics and finance guys, so you discount that 500 crores in 2075 to today's date, it is hardly 20-30 crores. So which means we are getting 500 crores of 2075, but we can spend that 500 crores today, but it's not really to, we don't have to pay back that value. We have to pay back the value that is equivalent to maybe 20 crores, but we are getting to spend 500 crores of it. So I hope I could make you understand that.
Okay, we have a slide on that.
Yeah. But what I want to share with you here is also another thing is important. That 2540, the normative allotment for Meghalaya was less than half of that. Which means that for SASCI, Meghalaya was given, I think, 1,400 or 1,200 crores as the normative allotments. This is what Meghalaya will get. But if you look at the number, we got 2,540, much more than our normative allotment. Now, why does this happen and how? And by the way, most states are not able to take up even to 1,200 or 1,400 that they're given. But we have been able to get double of that. And the reason for that is because our capacity to absorb, our overall professionalism that has come up in the system. A lot of people talk about consultants, why are we taking consultants? You see, what is all this consultants? Let me share with you. A politician cannot be a consultant. I am not expert in making DPRs. An officer cannot be a consultant because he or she is not trained to make DPRs. I am supposed to be sitting there to take decisions. Officers are there to do administrative implementation and monitoring. And experts are there who are good and better at performing and creating those DPRs. It is because of the team that we have that is expert, we can create DPRs in a matter of a week, which other departments and governments take months and months. There was a time when we could not get funds from donor ministry because our DPRs used to take 1 year to be prepared. By the time the funds used to lapse. But now, compared to most of the states in the Northeast, Meghalaya is able to, to submit the DPRs on time. In most of the cases, we are the first actually in the entire country. First to submit the DPRs for any scheme, get the funds, submit our use, utilize the funds, and that's where the administration and bureaucracy comes in. Implement it, and go back to Delhi and saying, well, we have finished our funds, can you give us more? And if there's fund lying, which other states are not using, can you give that to us? And that's what we got in the SASCI. The 2,540 is double the normative allotment of what was given under the budget of Government of India to Meghalaya. But every year we take double, every year. To the extent that Madam Finance Minister has made this a comment sometimes. Like, this Meghalaya, they always come and take extra and all this. That's because we work. So I'm not trying to, say that we are very good, but we are working hard and the team is there. And that's what these numbers reflect, that about 2,540 crores over and above the normative allotment for SASCI has come, which is a 50-year-old loan, which, as I said, in 2075, we have to pay back 2,540, or rather 2075, we'll have to pay back 2,540. And if you discount that from then, it is about 100, 200 crores. So that's the story of SASCI.
Thank you, sir. So this is again a little bit of explanation of our own taxes. So our own taxes also are increasing, as I said. Centrally sponsored schemes, very important. Again, as sir was saying, so to do centrally sponsored schemes, again, centrally sponsored schemes are, there's in every scheme in Government of India, there is a normative allotment. Normative means based on our population, based on our need, they fix. So let's say in JJM, there is a 1 lakh crores. So Meghalaya will get 1% of that. That means we'll get 1,000 crores. But then many states don't take that money. So at the end, there's always money left. So in many of these schemes, we are able to actually take that extra money. So you look at any scheme, so whether it is a JJM, whether it is an NREGA, whether it is an SSC, PMSA, whether it is a PMAY, whether it is a PMGSY. So we are able to kind of take, for example, look at this figure of PMAY in financial year 24. We got 1,591 crores. So this is a huge amount. So sir went and had a detailed meeting with the...
So I want to share this with you, that this is what is PMAY. PMAY is the low-cost housing. You know, the low-cost house that we give. We give means Government of India gives. So if you remember, there was a housing for all under our commitments that we had given in the 10. So when that commitment came in, so it is there in my mind and my heart and the team's heart that we have to get this done. So we acted on it. We went to Delhi. We said we want additional funds to spend and make sure that housing schemes are given. If you look at it before that, we used to get, just imagine 2021, we got 5 crores, 20 crores, 114 crores, 43 crores. And suddenly, in 2024, we got 1,591 crores, which means all the last 7 years put together, in 1 year, we spent more on housing compared to that. And of course, that's because of the reports we submitted, the UCs we gave, the capacity, the BDOs, the DCs, the officials, the way they worked to ensure that we were able to implement. We constructed more than 150,000 houses in 1 year's time. So even when it comes to centrally sponsored schemes, because of the way we worked, we were able to pull more money and funds even from centrally sponsored schemes. As you can see the amount, in 2024, we took 7,050 compared to a financial year 2018, where we got only 2,965. So 3 times, you know, jump in the release in centrally sponsored schemes, again, because of the capacity to absorb. So this is where all the funds are coming from. A lot of people wondering, where is the money? Government is taking loan. Government is taking loan. No. We are taking loan as per our mandate, but money comes from these areas. By being more efficient, getting more money from centrally sponsored schemes, our share of taxes going up, and the grants from Government of India, which again are performance-based, we managed to maximize that. That's through which we're getting funds.
Thank you, sir. So Saski, sir explained, but I think I'll just again go through the numbers. So as we were saying, so there is a normative allotment and there is a total. So last year, 2,370. Of course, in that chart, it said 2,500. That is, we also added the Finance Commission grants that come for local bodies, rural and urban. But this is the SASCI number. SASCI started in 2021. So SASCI, as sir said, is special assistance to states for capital investment. So Government of India started with Government of India after COVID thought, now how do we make states spend more on capital? Because capital will lead to growth, it will lead to employment and all. So they said, instead of we borrowing and we giving, instead of allowing the states to just borrow, we will borrow, Government of India will borrow and give the money as a loan to the state. Because if Government of India borrows, they get at a much lower rate of interest also, because their credibility obviously is much higher than all the states. So Government of India takes this money and it gives the money to the states as a loan. But these are 50-year interest-free loans. So a 50-year interest-free loan is effectively a grant, as we showed in the chart and as sir already explained. So last year we took 2,370. The present value of 2,370 is 86 crores only. That means if somebody were to give 2,370 rupees, if we borrow today and have to repay after 50 years, the value of that 2,370 rupees in today's terms is only 80 rupees. So we are paying no interest. If you pay interest, obviously it goes much higher. Because it's an interest-free loan, this is effectively a grant. I keep telling people. So an advice from the finance department to everybody is, if somebody is giving you this deal, please take it. This is very good because this is free money. So it's an interest-free loan. And also the other thing that everybody has to know regarding the debt is, there are mechanisms to ensure that states don't default on debts. There is something called a consolidated sinking fund. So every year, consolidated sinking fund, every state is mandated to maintain a consolidated sinking fund, which is the size of 0.5% of the liabilities. So if we take 3,000 crores of loan, so 3,000 multiplied with 0.5 is 150 crores has to be put in a consolidated sinking fund. And this fund, of course, gathers interest. So today, our state, we have a consolidated sinking fund, which is about 1,200 crores. So if after 2-3 years, if there is some problem and if in 1 year we are not able, this is the same with every state, not just our state. So there are funds which are there to ensure that states don't default. Because what happens is when you default, anybody defaults, if Government of India defaults or if any country or any state defaults, the interest rates go high. You can still borrow, but then it affects the entire interest rate mechanism. That's why there are very strong systems in place to ensure that nobody defaults. So there is a consolidated sinking fund mechanism which allows states to kind of, it's a cushion, and that money is lying there. It's our money. So 2 points, SASCI is an effective grant. We are leveraging SASCI much better than, as sir said, our normative allotment last year was about 1526. We got 2370.
No. Normative allotment was 844.
Oh, sorry.
Normative allotment was 844 crores, but a performance-based allocation additional of 1526 crores means double of our normative allotments, which means at the end we got 2370. So we actually got 3 times more than what was allotted to us because we spent faster, and the other states who could not spend it, Finance Ministry then said, well, Meghalaya is performing, let's give it to Meghalaya. So we got, instead of getting 844, we got 2,370. This is how we are mobilizing resources to fund our capital expenditure, and all the growth that you're seeing, the whole expenditure that you saw, how it's jumped up, is because of these kind of, capacity and the work that we're doing.
Again, externally aided projects, I think this has been explained on in so many fora, but again, today, externally aided projects, again, people say, oh, the loans are being taken from World Bank or something. These are not banks, though they call themselves. They're development financial institutions. They're called DFIs. So a World Bank, an IFAD, a JICA, these are all development financial institutions which lend at concessional terms to sovereign governments. So they don't lend to state government. They don't lend to Meghalaya. They don't lend to Andhra Pradesh. They lend to government of India. And the way external aided projects works, this has been explained so many times in so many fora, is that for the northeastern states, whatever is the loan component, 90% of the loan is repaid by government of India. So which means, again, it's an effective grant for us. So if we look at the current portfolio, we have about 12,000 crores worth of externally aided projects going on, from World Bank to JICA to KFW to everyone. In that, the loan component, so the way these projects are designed is typically 20% is to be investment by the state, and 80% is a loan. So the loan component of each of these projects is about 9,126 crores. So that's the loan. But the beauty is...
I'll just explain this also.
Yes.
So what you have to understand that we have 12,166 crores worth of projects that were approved by Government of India and sent to all these agencies. So you can see IFAD, KFW, World Bank, ADB, NDB, all those guys are there. And Government of India has to approve it. And their standards are very, very high. So just to share with you, most of the northeastern states, except maybe Assam, have EAPs less than 1,000 crores. So all the other smaller states are about 1,000 crores. Ours is 12,166 crores. Now, how does this work, the funding? Out of this 12,166 crores, Meghalaya has to spend 20% upfront. So it's not a loan. So 20% we have to give, we have to spend. So therefore, out of that, close to about 2,000 crores, we have to spend, and we spent. But by spending that 2,000, we're getting an additional 9,126 crores. So that 20% is not a loan anymore, right? So 80% is the loan. Now the beauty of this is that 80%, which is the loan component, which is 9,126, 10% is what we repay back, 90% is repaid back by Government of India, not us. 10% we pay 90. For any other state, Maharashtra, Gujarat, blah, 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 every other state, they have to repay back the entire 80%. So Government of India is repaying back 90% of that 9,126, and we are only paying back 10% and 20%. So effectively speaking, 28% is what we have to bear, and 72% is what Government of India bears for us from the entire amount. So that's what it is, and that's why these projects are very good. I'll just share with you, this 12,166 was 12,166 compared to any other state in the Northeast, which is less than 1,000, most of them. We were actually at 18,000 almost. And then I had a meeting with Finance Minister. This means now that it's almost been 2 years, I can openly talk about it. And Finance Ministry said Meghalaya is taking too much. And the other Northeast states are not getting anything. So we are going to cap it now. You cannot take any more than this. Though the banks, the World Bank, the ADB, the IFAD, all of them have asked us to please take more because they're happy with our performance. Just to share, I met the country head of IFAD just for about 4 days back. And in 2018, there was a project called Meglamp. This Meghalaya project was going on for about 3 years before we came in. And IFAD met me right after I took over and said, we're closing this scheme because you guys are not performing. I said, we just came in. Can you give us 6 months to at least look into this? They said, well, we'll give you 6 months, but after that, we're closing this project because this project is not going well. And we started the work to revamp, and that actually was the beginning of how we got into EAPs aggressively. And you'll be happy to know that in the recent IFAD global conference they had in Rome, Dr. Vijay was invited. There were 4 projects they had taken up from the whole globe. In every country, the top 4 projects were selected. And I'm happy to inform you that Meghalaya's Meghalaya project, which was supposed to be closed in 2018 because of non-performance, was selected as one of the top projects globally to be presented by Dr. Vijay in Rome in the IFAD conference. And that's how we're going. But sadly, what happened because of our aggressiveness, Government of India has now put a cap on who can take, because Madam says simple thing. He said, Conrad, you take the money and I pay rebate back? How can this go on? Because it's true, they're repaying back. So we do our work, we convince World Bank, we convince the Department of Economic Affairs, we convince everybody else, all the work is done. And then suddenly, we take the money and then Government of India has to repay back the loan. So Madam has said very clearly that we cannot give this open-ended, we'll put a cap. But what we're trying to say is that this is another source of revenue or fund that we have tapped very successfully. So SASCI, centrally sponsored schemes, externally aided projects. This is how we are funding the economic growth. So again, coming back, it is not borrowings. Borrowings is a very, very small part of what we take. The maximum is funded by these kind of funding.
Thank you, sir. So for the next Finance Commission period, the next 5 years, we have requested Government of India that our cap should be at least 15,000 crores for new projects. So once that is approved, that will be beyond the resources we have. Then we have plans for very ambitious projects in power to kind of build more roads which connect all the remote villages. So all these will come through this window, which is again almost free money. So finally, you see a spike, and this is for all the states also. And then it's coming down. Today, if you see our debt level, it is at 35 to 36, let's say. 36% is the debt of Meghalaya as a percentage of the GDP. But again, as GDP keeps growing, this number will come down. And if you look at world over and the other states in the country, so debt, as I said, it's not a great thing to, obviously we should not be doing 100% of our GDP debt. That's how all the rich countries are doing. But anyways, that is their problem. For our problem in India, we are careful people, we are cautious people. So Government of India does, they have set the target of 50%. So theirs is at 80%. Ours is at 35%. Again, as I said before, there are some states which are at 28, 30%, but there are many states which are at 45, 50% of their GDP. So we are again in the middle. We are not the best state in terms of debt as a percentage of GDP. We are not the worst state. So we are using whatever debt is permissible to fund growth. And we have a path in which we presented this to the Finance Commission, saying that by the next 5 years, Meghalaya's debt to GDP will become 33. That is the target, and 28 is not achievable for anybody now. So in fact, states have been told to amend their FRBM acts to make the number 33. We are at 36. We have a path to make it 33. To make it 33, 2 things will have to happen. The GDP will have to grow up. As the GDP grows higher, obviously, this will grow lower. And of course, so what we borrow also slowly, anyways, the new Finance Commission has said 3% is the limit. From 3.5, it has made it 3. So from next year, we can only borrow 3. So therefore, this number will come to 33, which is the sustainable number.
You can mention why it's 44, that top one. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So this is another thing. So in the AG report, of course, this is not being tabled this assembly, but we just wanted to be. So if you look at the AG report, it says Meghalaya's debt is 44% as a percentage of GDP. That is because AG is taking, and they are also rule bound to do that, but we are finding a solution. AG is taking SASCI as a loan, because theoretically SASCI is a loan, because it's a 50-year interest-free loan, but it's still a loan. So therefore, they are adding the money that about 10,000 crores in the last 5 years that we got as SASCI, which are interest-free loans, they are adding that to our debt burden. We are saying that is not debt. Of course, and
not only we. In fact, just to share, in the budget consultation we had with Madam about a month back, I brought this point out. And Madam has clearly clarified that it cannot be added, and they will make a note to the AG to take necessary steps to be able to then remove the SASCI aspect, because AG is doing what they should do, so they're doing nothing wrong. But the numbers, as I said, even Finance Ministry has said that SASCI cannot be added to debt because it is a completely different category. So therefore, those numbers, as of now, AG report says 44. That's because of SASCI. If you remove SASCI, it's at 36%. And Government of India, which is the correct authority, will come out with a clarification on that aspect.
Exactly. So this has been raised by Mizoram. So this problem, the SASCI inflating our debt, affects small states. It doesn't affect big states. Because SASCI is such a wonderful scheme. We are getting 2,500 crores. Maharashtra is getting 7,000 crores. There is no scheme in the whole country where Meghalaya gets 1/3 of what Maharashtra gets, because our economy is 1/100th of what Maharashtra sees. So SASCI is such an amazing scheme, and small states like us in particular are able to leverage a lot of money. So therefore, this graph keeps, so this year we are targeting 3,000 crores. Next year we are targeting 5,000 crores under SASCI. So then if you take that, then our debt will show as 50%. But it's not 50%, because that's not a debt at all. That's not a loan at all. But anyways, for accounting purposes, it's being shown. That's what we would have read in the papers, etc. But as Sir said, the Finance Ministry is likely to come up with a clarification, and in the AG accounts also, at least a footnote will be written saying that these are two different categories. The effective debt is that 36, and we are working towards, we have already submitted to the Finance Commission a path, a trajectory in which we go to 33. And 33 is the sustainable long-term number. Last slide. So this is all, again, I think we have explained. So what all this translates into a lot of good things happening, whether it is in terms of finance, in infrastructure, in inclusion, in efficiency. These are all the things. And this is the last slide on the Finance Commission. So maybe I'll ask you to take it. Yeah. Thank you so much.
So we had explained the Finance Commission to all of you. So this is again the chart of the 16th Finance Commission. So I'll just go to the numbers straight away. So if you look at the 14th Finance Commission, a state like Uttar Pradesh got 17.95% of the, so basically what happens, the entire amount, what is tax that is collected, and again, direct tax, which is income tax and corporate tax. When that is collected, 41% comes for the states, and 59% the central government uses for their own development schemes, defense, centrally sponsored schemes for states, and so on and so forth. So 41% comes to the states. Out of that 41%, this is the breakup of the formula based on which the money or the share of central taxes comes to us. And if you look at it in the 14th Finance Commission, we had 0.64%. In the 15th Finance Commission, which was the last 5 years, our share went up by 0.12%. up to 0.76, which led to almost, an increase of close to about 2,000 to 2,400 crores of revenue per year for us. And that was really what helped us. You look at now this year's Finance Commission recommendation. It has come down from 0.76 to 0.63. And I'll explain to you what happened. Now, 0.63, if you see, almost all the northeastern states, if you look at it, are suffering. You look at Arunachal Pradesh. It had 1.75% of the share. It went down to 1.35. They're losing close to about 20,000 crores, if you give it numbers. So something in that line. So if you, Assam is increasing by very, very marginal. But then again, if you look at the other states also, like Goa has lost. If you look at, other states like, again, Madhya Pradesh has come down. If you look at Manipur has come down, Meghalaya has come down, Mizoram marginally has gone up, Nagaland has come down drastically, Odisha has come down. So like that, there are about 15 or 14 states which lost. But if you can see, it's a kind of a cyclic thing. So in the earlier 14th Finance Commission, we had 0.64, then we got 0.76, and now we're back to 0.63. Now, how does this happen? Why does this happen? Is it because the state is not doing well or whatever it is? It's not like that. The Finance Commission basically devolves the taxes based on a formula. And that formula has got certain factors. And each factor has got a weighted average. So therefore, the factors are what? Factors are population. How much the state's population is. How much is the geographical area. How much is the income distribution or equity within a society and within the state. What is the fertility rate of the state. what is the forest cover of the state. So for example, there is a percentage of 12%, 10% being given to forest cover, and about, I think 10% or 15% for geographical area. So there's a weighted average, but these are 5-6 factors that determine. Last Finance Commission, the then Finance Commission Chairman, Mr. Dr. N.K. Singh, who was very, very kind to the Northeast and the hill states, he brought out a formula which increased the forest cover weightage from 7.5% to 10%. So forest areas, whichever states had more forest, benefited. And that's why we benefited. So the weight went up. Then there was another factor which he included, which was the geographical area. So for example, if a geographical area based on the size, the percentage is done. But there are some states like ours, which is just 22,000 square kilometers. Arunachal is 84,000 square kilometers. So Arunachal gets a lot. So we said, well, can't you have a system where no matter how small the state is, give us a set amount of percentage. So therefore, 2% was the minimum that was kept for the geographical areas. So even if you're small, like Sikkim, which is much smaller than us, they also got the 2%. So the 2% weightage was put in by Mr. N.K. Singh, which then led to the growth of 0.76%. But this year, they reduced that 2% again to 1.5%. So these formulas affected us. The biggest factor was that apart from population, geographical area, income distribution, fertility rate, and forest cover, the new Finance Commission, or the 16th Finance Commission, introduced a new factor, and that was the contribution to national GDP. So they put 10% weightage on that. Now what does that mean? That means big states like Maharashtra, they contribute a lot to the national GDP. Their numbers went up. Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Kerala, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, all of these states gained because a 10% contribution factor of your contribution to the GDP of the country led to the thing. So therefore, 14 states have suffered and rest have benefited. We benefited last time because the ceiling on the land geographical area percentage was increased, which helped us. And obviously forest cover was increased, which helped us. But this year, it has gone the other way around. And that's the reason why I had to go and meet Finance Minister yesterday on an emergency basis to tell her that, ma'am, this is something that you'll have to think about, because it's not just Meghalaya. You're seeing Nagaland is going to suffer. The whole Northeast is going to suffer. So obviously, Finance Commission is an independent, constitutionally empowered body. So they cannot intervene in the working of the Finance Commission. And normally, Government of India accepts the recommendations in toto. So that's how the, in the past has been. So it's not a very easy exercise. But yesterday we went to Madam, we showed, this is just a summary. We showed the entire detailed calculation of where it is, how much crores will be effective, how much the revenue expenditure part is, the revenue deficit grant which we require, blah, blah, blah. I won't go into all of those details, but that's how we came to these numbers. But I wanted to share this with you to tell you that this is what's the picture for the next 5 years now. And therefore, we do expect and we hope that, and of course, Delhi has definitely taken note of this. All the Northeast states except Mizoram and Assam, because somewhere I think their formulas has helped them. I mean, which we don't know because we have to go into details, because the formula is the same for everybody. It's not that, they can just simply increase Mizoram as they wish. They just enter the formula, hit the enter button, and the numbers come out. So it's like that. So it's very simple. So that's what happened, and now we are working. We are hoping that, we'll be able to increase this. But obviously, the positive side is that the entire pie is increasing, which means the collection of taxes, whether the direct taxes, indirect taxes, the whole pie is going up. So that at the national level, the tax collection will go up. So even though the percentage is lower, for us, the fact that the entire collection of taxes is going to be higher, obviously our share also will go up to a certain extent. But that's something obviously we'll come to know as we go along. So every year, how much income tax is collected, how much of corporate tax is collected, so all of that. So this is what the Finance Commission is, and this just happened in the last 1 week. So it's something that we are not happy about, to be very frank. I mean, obviously you all will understand it now. And because if we were at 0.76% as before, it would have been really, really much more, even as I said, exciting to work now. So now we have this challenge in one way, But obviously, challenges are always there. We'll have to overcome the challenges. We'll work. We'll discuss with Delhi. Delhi is very positive. I have mentioned this to Honorable Prime Minister also, and to Honorable Finance Minister also. And Finance Minister has really responded very positively. But we are waiting for a final solution from them on how they will help all the northeastern states. But this is what has happened. But as I said, this formula has helped the larger states a lot. So if you look at Karnataka, I think they're the largest gainers. They've gained from 3.64% to 4.13%, almost a 0.5% increase. And for those who may not be able to grasp it, a 0.5% is like 10,000, 15,000 crores of impact, in a year. So that's the kind of money that's going to be affecting them. So that's the thing. West Bengal has suffered, Uttarakhand has suffered, Uttar Pradesh has suffered, Tripura has suffered, Telangana has just marginally grown, Tamil Nadu is again marginally grown out there, Sikkim has suffered, so Rajasthan has suffered, so you can so on and so forth. You can see the chart yourself. So this is what the Finance Commission was.
Thank you, sir. So this is the last slide, and as I said, this is also in some, I think the silver lining here also is that we got the higher share when we really needed it the most. I think in the last 5 years, when we could kind of set up this whole governance mechanism, strengthen all the systems, and bring, now we are in a place where even if we suffer a little bit of lesser devolutions, we have improved our own taxes, we have a huge pool of SASCI, EAPs and all to leverage from, and CSS. So we should, as sir said, in real terms, we should get similar or more money. But yes, this is the fact. So I think we'll close here. We'll open up. I think we have spoken much longer than expected, sir. But now we'll open up to suggestions, comments, thoughts. So we have about 45 minutes. So I'll stop here and I'll request everyone to.
Yeah. So I think the mics can move around, and then I'll just stand here. So yeah. So thank you so much, Dr. Vijay, for the presentation. And I think this must have given a fair idea of how the state is moving along, and what are the challenges, and how the revenue and the sources come for development purposes. So I think now, without taking any more time, we open it up to all of you to please give your thoughts and ideas and suggestions. And my request would be to be very, very brief. You don't need to address anyone. You don't need to address me, nothing. You just please get up and just say that, well, these are the suggestions I have, blah, 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 blah. I think that will allow everybody to participate and give everybody an opportunity. So I would request if you can be done in just like 2 minutes, I think it'll be enough for everyone. So I request everybody to stick to that time.
Very good morning to you, sir. At the outset, I'd like to say that this has been a fantastic eye-opener, this exercise. And I'm not happy that the department entrusted with the responsibility of inviting people hasn't invited more critics of our government. Had there been...
Actually, we invited everyone.
Yes, but I don't see many
some
critics.
Came, some did not come.
I mean,
that's,
most people who criticize are not here. Because had they been privy to this discussion, this presentation, I think they would have understood a lot of their criticism were not
so
well-founded.
We'll give this presentation to all of you, and then you can then show it to everybody
Yes,
else.
we will definitely do that, sir. So, very, very, warm good morning yet again, and a fantastic presentation, fantastic explanation on how the finances work. I am Gagan Jain, State President of the Minority Wing of the BJP here in Meghalaya. And as a chartered accountant, a finance professional, I really, really think that this should be widely shared and widely discussed ad nauseum with everyone in the state and outside the state as well. On suggestions, I just have one. You made a mention in your opening remarks about the multi-level car park, and I'm very happy that that's come up and it's completed in a record time of a year. You also mentioned about 6 5-star hotels, which are either up or about to come up, and 10 more by 2032. 4 more, sorry. So total 10 by 2032. So in that line, I would just like to request you, if you could do the same for multi-level car parks. Our city is choking, And we ought to have...
So we have 9 multi-level car parks. This one is just one of them, which is 53 cars in it. Total, there are multi-level about 9 or 10 of them, which will have a total of 1,371 cars to be parked. So it's in the pipeline. Constructions have started. It should be completed within this this calendar year. And at the same time, as you know, we have a parking policy, which now will have private people who would have their land and would be ready to convert it into parking lot. We're giving you 1 lakh rupees per car slot, where you take that money from us, convert your land into parking lot, and earn money from it. So that also is being done. So multi-level parking, how many? 9? 9, yeah. So 9 are in the on the thing. So this is the first one to be inaugurated. Another 8 more left.
Right, thank you for that. And one more clarification, maybe Dr. Vijay Kumar can answer that. The salary burden has gone up double, as you mentioned. Just if you could explain whether that's on account of new hires. I know there are increments, there are finance commissions which you have to kind of implement. If you could just explain that.
No, that has gone up because of, that's gone up because of the 5th Finance Commission, the pay commission recommendations. So that's obviously leads to about approximately 25-30% to 35% increase in the salary burden. So that's in that line. And yes, in the last few years, we have been able to fill up a large number of vacancies that were there. So those, obviously, the burdens of that also. So there were about 7,000 vacancies when we took over. Today, we are down to about 3,000. And maybe in another 3-4 months' time, we'll be down to less than 500. So those vacancies are being included. Obviously, we had to go for new sanctions because, especially in medical department, there is a real shortage of manpower. So you know, we have to we recruited 500 doctors last 3 years. We've recruited more than 700 nurses. So that number has gone up. And obviously, we have got all these schools and colleges that are coming up where we need to give more manpower. And also, we have expenditure for schools and mostly the social sector areas. I also want to make it very clear to everyone, which is another thing that a lot of people are always question us, is that who pays for these consultants? Why are we having consultants and why are we paying so much for them? Just to share with you, the externally aided projects that we have a 3%? 5 to 10% gap for administrative expenditure. This is as per rules. It's not what we do. So 12,000 crores means we have 12 into 5. There's about 600 crores we have money from the externally aided project funds to bear administrative expenditures. So that means what? Means hiring consultants, means buying vehicles, means buying, putting up administrative offices, setups. So technically speaking, from our own resources, our state share, our taxes, the money is not going out for the salary of consultants. The salary of consultants is coming out from their own work, which they do to get us externally aided projects worth 12,000 crores, which has got 600 to 1,200 crores of administrative fund lying with it to be used. So that also I want to clear, but it's a great question. Right. But that's what it is. So mostly because of the 5th Finance Commission, and we know that the 6th of Pay Commission, and the 6th, right? 6th Pay Commission is coming up in the next 2 years, which will again lead to additional burden, but that amount has already been incorporated in the projections that we gave to Finance Commission.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. My last question is about the total debt burden of the state. It was mentioned that it was about 2,300 something crores this year, which was taken, but that's only this year, right? So over time, what's the total?
What's the consolidated amount?
That's the number, right? We said 36% of our GDP.
So how much does that
So our GDP is 66,000 last year. 66 multiplied with 36. It's in the range of 18,000, 19,000 crores.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Which is as per, as I said, the norms that the government of India and permission that they allow us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I'm Agustina Marak, representing Garo National Council. So, sir, I have a few suggestions. So, I want to discuss about protection of catchment area, especially in Garo Hills. So, every year we are talking about the protection and improvement of catchment area in Garo Hills.
EAP slide. Yeah.
So, sir, I need a better budget allocation to the protection and improvement of catchment area. So in Garo Hills, we all know the land belongs to the Nokma Kangland. And some of the catchment areas belongs to the individual landowners. So to improve and to protect the catchment area, the catchment area must be acquired and compensation must be given to the Nokmas and to the individual landowners. And better protection should be done. That strong fencing and everything. I hope, sir, in Tura, under your constituency, there are more 10 to 15 catchment areas, but all belongs to the individual landowners. This must be acquired and will be protected. So for acquiring of land, catchment area, that budget allocation should be done, sir. And my second suggestion would be then budget allocation for the vocational training for the youth of Garo Hills. You know that some communal classes and the some pensions are going on in Garo Hills. Now Garo Hills people are lagging behind in mystery, carpentry works. So I have seen in the last week only so many church leaders, intellectuals, they are gearing up to form some organizations to give training to the youth, especially in construction works, mystery, and the carpentry works. Sir, for conducting intensive and extensive training to the youths, that budget allocation must be required. In Tura, sir, in last week only, 2 organizations has been formed with intellectual persons, including fathers and reverends, civil societies, that United Archik Society.
Short.
Sir.
Others also want to ask.
And Archik Rikachwani Dol also, that NGOs must be involved in this movement. And number 3, sir, I just want to give suggestions to improve cultural tourism sector. Yes, your government is doing tremendous job to improve ecosystem tourism, but we don't have proper schemes or proper projects to upgrade cultural tourism sector. So to boost up the cultural sector, I need a budget, more budget allocation to the cultural sector, sir. These are the 3 points I want to give suggestions to you, sir.
Yeah. We'll take a note of all of this. Very good suggestions. But again, if you look in the middle, there's a protection of vulnerable catchment areas in Meghalaya, mainly this Umyu catchment and the Ganol catchment. And I think this is going on. This is KFW. It's a German institution. So 344 crores project work is going on right now. But the suggestion you give, given that the government procures these lands, we can examine it. You know, there are challenges. People don't want to sell and blah, blah, blah. So many things are there. But we'll look into it, how we could see it permanently to solve it. Regarding training, we are very much going for this. I just want to share with you, this is a very good point brought out by Mr. Augustine, is that if you look at the masonry and the skill development for construction, Khasi Hills is way, way ahead compared to any other region in the state, especially. So almost all the masons, the construction, the workers are actually our own people. And that's the reason why in the PMAY implementation, we had a huge problem in Garo Hills because it was not happening fast. But in Khasi Hills, the implementation was super because of the presence of local masons. And that's why we have started under the Meghalaya program. There is a provision for it. We are working on it. We need, what do you call those? Not aggregators, what do you call it? The training partners. So we need people to come forward because government cannot train. We will give you the money, you train. So basically, so we are doing that and many people have come forward. So I hope that will happen. And third point was culture aspect. I totally agree. A lot of things are happening, but no structured scheme as of now, but we are supporting. But I'll definitely keep that in mind.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I think somebody's taking notes of this.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Can you put up the education one? The 2 slides of education.
Yeah, my name is Alfan Bot Khasantio, represent the as a General Secretary of the Hills Pharma Union. So it is just a reminder. In year 2022, the government have announced that 3 colleges will be established, especially veterinary and dairy in Kerdemkulai, and fishery will be established in Garo Hills. So now it has been 4 years, so we have not seen anything progress in these 3 colleges. So we would like to hear from you, sir. What is the government will maybe they will come out with the budget allocation for these 3 colleges to come out, which is very important for the state of Meghalaya and the youth.
Yeah, totally agree. We had taken this decision, but of course we had a lot of challenges because of fund. And we also had to make a conscious decision that, should we start many and then not being able to make any of them function well, or should we just strengthen the current existing systems and spend more on them and make them activate and then go for new ones. So we thought that, the existing colleges, like at that point in time, if you remember, the medical colleges were in limbo, the architectural college, the different, college in Patarkhama, college in, the Mahendraganj college, the Mauplang college, this Shillong Engineering College. So many of them were actually announced, and then we were not able to take them forward. So we then took a conscious decision that, look, let's spend our resources and funds on that first, and then we'll go for the next. But this is something, this is a commitment from our side. We have not yet decided on exactly when we will start this, but I'll definitely take a note. This is something that I also truly believe is very, very important. I just want to share this with you just so that you can also understand what the education system and the challenges we face as a state. These are basically the comparison of the northeastern states with Meghalaya. So if you see the population, this is of course 2011. So Meghalaya has a 29 lakh population. Tripura has 36 lakhs population. They have 4,900 schools. Meghalaya has 14,582 schools. You look at any of the other states, no one is in double digits. Nagaland, 2,700 schools. Manipur, 4,600 schools. Mizoram, 3,900 schools. And Meghalaya is like completely off the charts. We have 14,582 schools. You look at the teachers. We are at 55,000 teachers. And all the other schools that are there, other states, you'll see Manipur 42,000, so and 36,000, 31,000. You look at the last column. This is the government-aided schools. This is what we call the ad hoc and the deficit schools. So we support 4,172 deficit and ad hoc schools. And all the other state governments, you can see, Nagaland has 0 support to private. So what is ad hoc and deficit? They're all private colleges and schools. They're not owned by us. They're owned by a community, managing committee, a mission, or individuals. And they were given grants. And the amount, of course, is the amount there? Next. So this picture is very important for you to understand what kind of pressure we face in. Oh, this is a great one. So, just to share with you, there are 206 schools where we have teachers. They're teaching, but there is no student. There is no student. We pay grant and aid to these 206 schools. There are 2,269 schools which are single digit, which means we have 5 teachers and we have 5 students. And we still pay salaries to them. So now my concern is, why can't these schools be closed? I think that's what you'd say. Well, the first problem would be, there will be political reaction. And immediately the headmen and everybody would come and say, why this? And the political other team would come and say all this. But it's the right thing to do. So what we're doing is that we're not going to close these down because we understand that there's a challenge. We plan to merge them with existing schools that are there. What happens is, why do we have 14,000 schools? We have 14,000 schools because in the same location, there is a school that is run by SSA, LP, government LP. There is one that is ad hoc by one religious denomination, another one by another religious denomination. So like that, there are 5 students, 10 students in each of these schools, but there are 5 teachers in all of them. So if there was one school, we would be actually having 20 teachers and 20 students. So that is the reason why we have so many schools and so many teachers. I'm not saying this is true for all the villages, but roughly 70% that's the story. So our idea is to bring them all together. Is a possibility there where we can merge and without removing the teachers. So therefore, let there be 20 teachers and 20 students, no problem. But we will phase it out. Slowly there's one school, so we don't need 20 teachers, but that appointment has been done, so we don't remove them. But slowly, slowly we phase it out till we come to a rational number. And these are the numbers that I feel we should share with the public and the society at large to understand that, I mean, this can't go on. So if you look at this, immediately if we're able to merge these schools, we'll be down to 12,000 schools. You see? And then slowly, steadily, there are within the same vicinity, there are 4 or 5 schools. Literally, there's one school here, there's another school there, there's another floor on top, there's another school there. All 4 different managing committees, all having 4 or 5 teachers, but each one having 4 or 5 students. And they just don't want to work together. Somewhere we'll have to figure out what to do. So these are the challenges I face with education. So is the number there, amount is there? How much we pay to grant and aid? Just go up. No, just go up. Just go up. One more. There's one more. This one. No. Down. The associations. Yeah. Next one. Yeah. These are the total associations of teachers in the state. There are 24 teachers associations. Ad hoc itself has got 4 of them. And SSA itself has got 4 of them. So I think you must have all read in the papers that we have decided now to give them a structured pay. So that's going to cost me about 800 crores. But we're doing it because we don't want this to continue. Now, let me tell you again, a lot of times, a lot of you come and tell me, why aren't you paying? Why aren't you paying? You have to remember, the categorizations are different. Ad hoc is not government. Ad hoc is a grant in aid we give to a school that's run by, say, Gagan. And it was decided that the grant in aid is going to be given to him. So he is supposed to pay the salary, not us. But through the years, the ad hoc teachers have then changed the narrative and said the government should pay. But actually, it's not government's responsibility. It's Gagan's responsibility. I'm sorry, I'm using your name. But just so that you can understand. But we don't blame anybody. So we realize that whatever the story or whatever the situation, it is our responsibility to solve the problem. If I keep putting the blame, we're not getting anywhere. So I called the teachers. We discussed everything. We said, guys, what do you want? They said, look, we want a structured system. We want a system where seniority is given some kind of a weightage. We want a system where we at least know and guarantee in safety security that we'll have our jobs even after 10, 15 years. So therefore, we gave them.
State into personal accounts, maybe government can make something have an arrangement with banks where 10% of the amount can go to auto save, so that by the end of 5 years you can actually have capital
That will be a personal choice that
yes, sir, but then
individuals
if there
will
are
make. That will be some people may not.
If government can also just give say just 0.5% to whatever,
add to it.
Yes, in terms of interest rate. I'm just saying. Just partner with banks, because this is what happened. This is the practice in Kerala.
I mean, the whole point, again, I am a very big believer in the remittance international especially. And that's the reason I'm focusing on the nurses. So,
yes.
so we have about 37 nurses in Japan, and each one of them is sending back about 1 lakh per month
yes.
to their homes. So that's about 30 lakhs just by 30 nurses being there. And Singapore, we have about 25 nurses. Germany, about 15 are going to go. I hope that we'll be able to touch about 10,000 nurses, very soon. So, not very soon, but maybe 3, 4 years, 5 years down the line. So we have a full Japanese training center and all these things. So we are spending on that part.
Yes.
So who gives the training? We give the training. We put up the centers. We pay for them to go there. We pay their training amounts. So we are investing, and we're connecting them to the recruiting agency there. To further give 0.5% from our side share in that, I don't know if
It's
I'll be able to
just a suggestion,
justify
sir.
it.
It's
Yeah,
just-
yeah.
just
Well,
a
we'll keep it in
suggestion,
point.
sir.
Yeah. Okay.
So also maybe like what you've said that there's you have a good pool of diaspora that goes. So if we can have a diaspora investment safe
Yeah,
fund or something
Absolutely.
like that.
Absolutely. That I can.
And then
that we can.
one important thing with the present NEP, you have a lot of skill-based papers that are being introduced into our curriculum, right? So what if we also have something as a pre-migration readiness program where we can actually inculcate skills to our young people? See, we know that Meghalaya is coming up, and they, like what you've mentioned in the service sector, there'll be a lot of employment opportunities, but we're not there yet. But as it is now, we're already having graduates who have the skills, but do not have, the avenues to, practice their skills. So what if we make them global ready? After whatever they're done from here, make them global ready in terms of language, in terms of skills, in terms of financial planning, and so on and so forth, so that they can.
That's a good suggestion. That we can definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. That's a good point. We can work on that aspect of international thing.
Afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
And from the village, especially from the Nokmas, there is a proposal for a partnership budget.
Hmm.
For a partnership budget.
Hmm.
Starting with 7 sectors, and there would be contribution from the village, is 5%, and 95% from the state government.
Hmm.
So this is a proposal from the Akhil Nokmas. Thank you, sir.
It's a very good suggestion. Definitely, I think this would work very well. I mean, we can just streamline it a bit to how to see, because we have been promoting. That's it. We have been promoting this whole community participation aspect at every level. So it goes in line with our thoughts. But you're giving it a institutional kind of a structure to it. So I'll definitely examine this. This is a very good idea. But then you have to choose the Nokmas who are agreeing to do it. The biggest problem is half the time they don't agree. Or for the matter of fact, the Dolois, or for the matter of fact, the CMs. So they have to all agree. The local headmen, Rangbashnongs, Nokmas. Our problem is that only, that half the time we're convincing people to come partner with us. And every time that we do that, the first thing they think is that we're coming to snatch their land, or we're coming to take over the, So if you can take that lead and, dismiss that whole thought process that we are here to only take advantage, then that's a great step ahead. So I'll be more than happy to work with you. It's a great idea. So if you partner with us, we'll be happy to take this forward. Yeah, sir.
Sir, I just want to ask just one question.
Hmm.
With regard, I have not seen any mention about this gender budgeting.
Oh, gender budgeting is there. We didn't show it because there was limited time.
Okay.
But gender budgeting, last year, gender budgeting was about 6,000. Yeah, out of 27,000, about 6,000 crores were gender budget. We are very, very particular about gender budgeting. I mean, I can show you the whole thing, but I don't think we'll send. Can we send a note to ma'am?
We'll send it and it's available online.
You show this
Can you
gender
just
budget.
open
The gender budget. This is a very important site. I would really urge everybody to please visit Meghalaya 1. The idea is that this is the one site which has everything. Government services, government data, public services, everything that you want, everything is here. You want to apply for something, it's right here. So you just go to the site, everything you can apply for, CM Elevate, CM Farm Plus, Organic Mission, how to apply for it, all of it is in here. So this is a very important site. It's just called, what is it? Meghalaya1.com. Yeah, .com. So I'll send you that budget, gender budget.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Actually, regarding this, sir, you see, I have noticed some of the, whether will be there any special reserve fund or something for this cancer patient, especially for those who come from a very, very poor.
Yeah. Okay, this is a great. So what we have done is that we have created a fund called CM Care Plus. This CM Care Plus fund is a fund which is meant. We have not structured the whole thing. That's why we're doing it on a piecemeal basis. But I can announce it this. But I think we'll go into detail. That's a very good suggestion. So what we're doing is exactly what you said. For organ transplant, operations, for cancer patients, obviously not specially, but from economically weaker section. So we are going to through the CM Care Plus program, we are going to actually put a pool of resources for that. There's going to be a small committee that is going to pass this and then allow this. So this is, it is already there, but we have not, expanded it fully. So I'll announce it in the budget this time. We can mention this. Same club. Thank you so much. But it's already there. Yeah.
There are few suggestions from online. Maybe we can respond to one or two of them. So this is from Crew Parade. This is from the muster rolls and daily wagers. So they are complaining that our variable DA, their variable DA has to be enhanced.
Okay. Yeah. So definitely we'll.
So we are examining it.
Yeah. So so there is online. I think this is on Facebook also. It's going on. So there are messages coming from people online also. Many have come, but I'm sorry we cannot reply to all of them. But there is one from Crow L. Pariat, and he was asking about many things, including the variable dearer allowance, VDA, which is effective on the 1st of April and the 1st of October. So therefore, definitely, this is one area which we always ensure that we keep it up to date. So we will definitely, we'll examine this aspect also. So similarly, there was a suggestion that came from Rochelle. So Rochelle was mentioning that there's a potential policy could be a focus on community-led tourism development and digitization and e-governance. So again, there's a lot of work going on in digitization and e-governance. And in fact, we are one of the more advanced, I should say, states among the smaller states in terms of e-governance. And community-led tourism is something that is core to our belief, because at the end of the day, tourism is a sector which automatically generates and creates employment and revenue at the grassroots level. So we always tell people that, we spent about 23 crores last year in terms of the concert economy, but we got money of about 160 crores plus in terms of the returns that came in. And these returns don't come to us. These returns are returns that go to the shopkeepers. It goes to the homestays. It goes to the taxi drivers. So that's how the economy moves forward. And therefore, for us, this community-based tourism is absolutely essential. Almost all our projects that are being implemented now because of land issues that we have are all community-based. So if you look at this ropeway project, this ropeway project is owned, the land is owned by the Laban Darbar, right?
Yes.
So the Laban Darbar is getting 2 crores from us every year. 2 crores we give them. So they have given the land to us. We are constructing the ropeway. We are going to put up the place and then run it along with them. And they will be getting 2 crores every year because the land is theirs. So this is how we pay, work on community base. So like that in all locations, wherever community is coming forward, we are coming out with a profit sharing, revenue sharing model where government invest, they run if they wish to. If they can't run it, they tell us to run it. And we share the revenue between them and us. So this kind of work is also going on. Yeah, there is another young artist. His name is Rabuga Marak. So he is, he's a painter. So Rabuga is a painter, and he has requested some support for artists and people who are into painting. Let me share with you that we are promoting now all kinds of skills and programs like this through Yes Meghalaya also. So we can fund these programs through Yes Meghalaya. This is meant for, again, groups and organizations that wish to take up different programs. We also have funds under CM Elevate. If there is a program that you have which you wish to take forward, and even on the Chief Minister's special grant, there are many such artists who have supported at my own level also. So Rabuga, if you're listening, then please, which cameras going live? Any of the yeah. So Rabuga, if you're listening, then please do write to us, contact us. It's very easy. I'm very accessible, so I can assure you that. You please write to us, and definitely we'll be happy to help, because we would like to really support and promote our local boys and girls who have interest in different art, culture, music, sports. This is what one of the main pillars of this government is, and I'll be happy to support you in this aspect. Anything else? Yeah, and I think we can just continue. I'll just with ma'am, then yours, and then we'll come to you.
A very good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for the illustrative presentation that your team has prepared. I think most of the people here, I think we are enlightened by what is going on. But then I was here, I participated in the pre-budget discussion last year also. And I phrased that a very important issue regarding the State Finance Commission.
Yes.
Till now, there is no State Finance Commission, and then there is no agricultural policy, and then there is no tourism policy. And as we know, one of the main focus area of this particular government is on tourism. Without the tourism policy, a comprehensive policy, I don't think we can move forward. We don't want to have a negative tourism such as in other places, Goa. You can see the effect on the economy and on the community, the local community, the problems that they face right now over there, the negative spillover, as they say. Sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Narish Shawathankyu from Department of Economics, NIHU. And I've been involved with the budget. I've been researching on the state budget for many years now, and I'm very acquainted with the state budget. And I've gone through the state budget for many years, and I've also gone through the CAG report 23-24, and I've studied the financial accounts statements as well. And there are a few things which I've observed. I think this is the real feedback that you want.
Absolutely.
So I'll be very honest and brutal. So what I've observed is that the contribution of manufacturing sector has gone down. From 2012-13 till today, we've seen its sectoral share in the GSDP has gone down. This is something which we should all note, because right now there's a push on MSME, and we're not doing, this is showing that we're not contributing as much. And we know the problems. Last year also you've highlighted, but I think we should work more on that. And then regarding the off-the-budget borrowing, the CAG flagged that is one of the issues of the state finance. And it has also reported there that the debt repayment is of rupees 343.42 crore, but the actual repayment is 4,140 crore. So that is something which I don't know, the off-the-budget expenditure. Off-the-budget expenditure?
I'll need more details on that because,
Yes.
because yeah, if you can highlight which page, because debt repayment.
I did not write the page.
Yeah,
but
because
yes,
debt repayment
is
is something that we can't default on. So there's no way. So
It's
whatever we have to pay, we have to pay.
This is what is being tabled in the assembly. Assembly, you have table, it's 3,
No, I
4,
understand. Yeah, no, what I'm saying is that we have to pay. But what this 4,000 is, you have to give me the reference of it, because without that, it doesn't
Okay.
make any sense.
In the assembly, it was tabled that the debt repayment would be 343 crore.
Yeah.
But the actual repayment for 23-24, it's 4,140. So that is...
Yeah, no, 343 is the correct number. I don't know what this reference of 4,000 is.
Okay,
it could
I
be the,
think you
it
better
could be
go back
interest
to the
in, yeah,
CAG report
could be
then.
the interest amount and the principal amount. I'm not sure.
This is
Okay,
also an
okay.
accounting SASCI issue
Yeah.
only. But anyways,
Anyway,
we'll come
we'll
to
check on
that.
that. Yeah. But my point is that if we were to default on that amount and say that it was supposed to be 4,000 and we paid only 3,000.
No, it's
yeah,
not
the
defaulting,
government
sir.
and RBI would
Yes,
stop
yes, of
every
course,
single
of course,
payment
sir.
of ours. They would not only that, they would cut it straight from the taxes that we have. And just to share with you, this is the Meghalaya tourism policy. It came out in 2023 already.
Okay.
Yeah.
So regarding the SASCI, in the CAG report, again I'm quoting from CAG report, SASCI, there is it constitutes 5%
Parts.
of the total liabilities, SASCI.
Yeah.
So this is, you say that it should not be considered as a liability, but it is a liability. Though the interest payment is not there, but it should be paid. The principal should be paid.
Yes, but the principal is not the total amount that that comes out of in terms of a debt. It is a debt, a loan, but a very special loan. We have explained why.
Yes, yes, of course.
So that we have to pay again 2,500 in 2075. You see, so that's the whole point. So I mean, you could keep saying that, and CAG could say that. And CAG will say it because that's their job. But as I said, now the finance ministry has taken note of this, saying that the normal debt which we take, which we have to repay, which we have to pay interest in, and which is on the on the budget, that is capped to 3.5% of GSDP. But SASCI, as I said, is not. AG has been doing this because AG has not been told that you cannot or you should not treat SASCI and the normal bank borrowing or the open markets borrowing as same. So I've explained this in length. I mean, I can go to the presentation again to show you the details. But that's the fact. SASCI cannot be considered as a normal debt. It cannot, because of the fact that we don't pay the interest. The discounted value of, we showed you, a 3,000 crores we take today, the value of that is actually today 86 crores only. So what we're going to pay back after 75 to 50 years is 3,000 crores. So you can't compare that to a normal debt, is what we're saying.
Okay, sir. Can I seek a clarification then?
Sure.
So if it's not, it shouldn't be considered a liability, then don't the state government repay the principal?
No, we repay the principal.
Then
but
it should be considered as a liability.
Yeah, but it is not a liability compared. See, liability is a general term. Everything is a liability. You can call a liability as a liability is a liability. I mean, it's like something we have to pay back. The point is, what kind of liability?
Should we take it or not?
Yeah, and if exactly, and if somebody is giving us a 50-year loan, should we take it or not?
Of course.
Yeah. So two things. One is that, number one, we are saying that we will be paying it back. It is something we are paying back, but you can't compare it to the debt that we take as a 3.5% because it's very, very bare minimum, because there is no interest on it. So it's almost like a discounted. It's like a 90-10 grant. So we have to pay 10%, 5% of it. And number two, as I said, you must have seen that sinking consolidated fund that we put in. So but the amount that we're putting in already, the amount that it will grow in the next 50 years, the interest we will get with this money that we've put in, we'll have enough money at that point in time.
We will have, for the 2,370 crores we took last year, we will have 3,484 crores to repay that loan.
So this is something. This battery is gone. So you can see this. This is again example. So 2,370 crores is what we took as SASCI loan. Today the value of that is, which we have to repay back in 2075. The current value is 86. But in order to ensure that the then government in 2075 has the money to pay this back, there is already a provision called the Consolidated Sinking Fund, where we put 0.5% per year. That amount in 2075, 50 years from now, is going to be valued at 3,484. We will have 1,000 crores more than the amount that we have to pay back when the time comes. So all these things have been taken into consideration. So I agree with you, it's a liability, but it's not comparable to a loan or open market borrowing, and we cannot put it as a full debt into the books of the finances.
In the next AG report, it will be reflected separately, because already Finance Ministry, we have written to Finance Ministry, JS Budget has written a letter to us saying that they are working with the AG to kind of show this separately in the accounting. So this problem will be resolved in the next 1 month's time. So I think there is not much to kind of
Can I go on,
this
sir?
thing. Yeah.
Can I go? Okay, so another issue is the surplus and the savings of many departments. This has also been flagged by the CAG, and this is not giving a very positive picture of what the departments are doing. If there's savings and surplus on some departments and some deficit on the other departments, that means the planning is not proper. So I think this should be taken.
You mean to say in terms of budgeting?
Yes. In terms.
Can I respond?
Okay, respond. I'll also respond.
So the way budgeting, I think we tell AG, there are exit conferences, we inform AG. See, when we do our monies, this is an budget is a statement of expected revenues and expected expenditures. So we expect that the tax collections will be like this. Suddenly there is a GST rates are slashed. So the tax collections go down. So obviously somebody's budget will have to be cut. So the budget, there will always be savings, there will always be deficits in the budget.
And we are also dependent on CSS. Like, for example, Rural Development Department goes for a meeting, sir goes, and then the minister promises we'll give you 2,000 crores. So we put a budget of 2,000 crores. But then finally when they may give us 1,500 crores. But then if we don't make a provision of 2,000 crores in the budget, suddenly when the money comes, let's say the money comes on the 30th of March or 31st of March, we won't be able to draw that money. So
let me explain this to everybody. We have to understand what budget is. Two things. Budget is a document or a plan that we have. We all make budgets at home. This year we're going to spend this much on fuel. This year we're going to spend. So that's what budget is. So it's a plan. It's a plan document and a vision of what we want to spend in each area. It is not actuals. That's why it's called budget estimates. And then the budget comes into the actual expenditures. So those things are done when the actual money comes in. So therefore, there will always be, as number one, as mentioned by Vijay, that there will always be some areas where, again, as I said, I went to Delhi last time. I met donor minister. Donor minister told me, look, we'll do these projects. So I have expectation. So I'm going to put this in my budget. And then, obviously, so suppose that project doesn't click, then there's going to be a deficit. That project didn't go through. That's what budgeting is. But why do we do it? That's the second question. We do it because, what is a budget? The second part. That when we pass a budget, these are financial requirements we pass in the assembly. Government doesn't approve the budget. The assembly approves the budget. That's why in a budget speech, in a budget session, one of the most critical parts is actually the cut motions. You should need to understand. What is a cut motion? Cut motion talks about the specific budgeting being given for a specific department, and then we debate on why it should be more or less. So when we give that budget provision within that particular department, now what happens? Suppose I have 10,000, say 1,000 crores I have put for, say, tourism. Now, if tomorrow I get a scheme from Delhi and it goes to 2,000 crores, even though I get the 2,000 crores, I can't spend that 2,000 because I have only approved 1,000 in the budget of tourism. That's how budgeting works. That's how finance works. That's why I have to go back to the assembly and ask for what we call supplementary demands. That now I got more money, so I may have the cash, but I can't spend it because the budget provision, the assembly has passed only 1,000 crores. So therefore we normally go and then we put that, we plan as much as possible we can, but obviously we cannot be 100% accurate. So after a particular time, 6 months, 7 months, some projects happen, some don't happen, sometimes more comes in, and then we go for contingency, from CF and all these things, advance from CF. So all this advance from CF budget are all notionary numbers. They're not actuals. These are numbers that we plan to do. And as we plan and as we move along, it's obvious that some plans will work, some will not, some way will get more. And when we get more, then we have to go for what we call supplementary demand, increase the space in the budget, take the approval of the assembly, and then utilize the money that has been given to us. So that's how budgeting works. And that's why in some departments there is a deficit, some departments there is additional amount. So the planning, we try to do it as perfect as possible, but obviously it can't be done perfectly.
Okay, can I have 2 more points, if you allow me.
Yes,
so,
please.
So I've been doing the, calculating the Niti Ayog indicators for Meghalaya, the debt index. And I find that most of the indicators are very positive, except for the debt burden, the debt to GSDP ratio. This has crossed, as you've already highlighted, 33% debt GSDP ratio and 42% debt to liability ratio. So it has breached the 28% stipulated by the FRBM Act. And for such a small economy as ours, I think this should be a concern. We have to minimize borrowing. And the only way out is, this is my humble suggestion, we have to strengthen the state-owned revenue. State-owned revenue.
Go back to the chart of the whole revenue structure. Yeah.
Okay, let me, again, from your presentation itself, I'm quoting this. The public expenditure, public investment has grown 3 times. The state-owned revenue has grown 3 times. So tell me, can you please tell me where is the multiplier effect?
Of?
If the government is spending, okay, public expenditure has grown 3 times over the, since 2014, if
Up,
I'm
up.
not mistaken.
Yeah, this one.
And the state-owned revenue has grown 3 times.
Yes.
So where is the multiplier effect on the own revenue? So
The own revenue is multiplier effect. If you can see, it's from 1,057 in financial year 2016 to multiplier effect now is at 3,473. This is the purple part. This is the multiplier effect for
Yes.
our state's revenue.
yes, sir, 3 times.
Yeah.
And the public expenditure for the same period has grown 3 times. So where is the multiplier?
Public expenditure
Yes,
in what sense?
investment
Capital investment. Yeah.
has gone 3 times.
No, has gone 5 times, 6 times almost.
I think it's a public expenditure.
Just go to expenditure.
Investment, sir. Yeah, investment.
Up. Now you're going down, up. Yeah, yeah. There we
Yes,
go. So it's a public investment means capital investment. Let's put it correctly. Capital investment is from 1,259 crores today at 395 crores. It's grown 6 times.
That is capital expenditure, sir.
Yeah.
I'm asking about the overall public expenditure. So where is the multiplier effect?
This is the multiplier again. Okay, the overall expenditure, if you want to see, is 6,811. Today is at 23,000. That's 4 times. That's the public expenditure has grown 4 times.
4 times.
Yeah.
But
Madam, what
okay.
is it that you would have liked to see?
No, sir. What I would like to see is the increase in state-owned revenue.
It is increasing.
Yeah, it's increasing.
It is increasing, but the pace of increasing is not matching the expenditure.
There is a limit.
Oh, no. I got the point. Okay, so you'll have to go through these charts again. I'm so sorry. But let's look at the state's receipts. Okay, so the receipts have gone up from 7,899 to 21,757. Go up to the expenditure. So that's 3 times increase. Up. No, you're going down. Go up. Yeah. Go to the expenditure. So expenditure has gone up from 6,000 to 23,000. That's 4 times. So it's all gone 4 times. So the money that we received has been invested back.
It's only the state-owned resources, sir.
No,
not
all.
the receipt.
No. Go up. No. Why are you going, guys? Just 2 slides, yaar. Yeah, this one and the one before this. That's it. Just 2. Just hold here. So no. Go up. Yeah. This is revenue. One more up. You're going down. Go up. No. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So our receipts have gone up from 7,800 to 21,000. That's the receipt.
Sir, when I say multiplier effect, it means if the public expenditure is growing by 3 times, the state-owned revenue should have grown more than 3 times.
No, not necessarily, but yeah, but in any case, for your knowledge and for your satisfaction, the states-owned resources has gone up again from 18,829. No, the central scheme. Sorry, where's the state-owned resource?
It's okay,
No
sir.
breakup.
It's
No,
just
it's
my
not. It's
concern.
not okay.
It's
It's
just
not.
my
No.
concern.
We want to clarify it. Go up. Where's that breakup of the receipts?
The next one. Yeah, this one.
This one. So if you look at it, it is the state's own resources has grown 3 times from 1,057 to 3,473. That's what that's what it
3
is.
times.
3 times, yeah. Whereas our own expenditure, whereas capital investment has gone up even more.
I'm not talking only about the capital expenditure, sir. I'm talking about the overall, total.
Overall also has
expenditure.
gone up. Just
3
go to
times.
the
3
overall
times,
expenditure.
sir.
Yes, yes.
Sir, I'm just stressing that we are not getting out the multiplier effect.
We are getting the multiplier effect, madam, because the expenditure has gone 3
This is
times.
what I've been,
The expenditure has gone up from 6,800 to 23,000. It is multiplied 4 times.
Okay, sir. Okay. So I think there's some misunderstanding regarding the multiplier effect in what I understand and in what you understand.
Sure.
So after closely examining the state-owned revenue, I found that some of the items, such as the taxes, the non-tax revenue. I'm talking about non-tax revenue, which has not been performing very well in
Sure.
the last few years.
Right.
And we have seen that there is the report submitted by the IAM to the 16th Finance Commission. I've gone through that, and they found that some of these items are not buoyant. That means they do not move along with they do not grow at the same growth as the GSDP.
Sure.
So we really need to look into that, tap into
So do you know what the non-tax revenue is?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they're royalties.
Not
So
only royalties, many other
Mostly.
things.
No. Many other things. There are small factors. Most of them is coal royalty. The maximum amount of non-tax revenue comes from coal royalty. So the coal royalty, as you all know, what we're facing. So therefore, yeah, and cess also, but cess is not much. The main amount is the coal royalty. So in the last many years, before 2014, we had about close to about 700 crores, 800 crores of non-tax revenue from the royalty. So now with the scientific aspect coming in, so we just started now. In fact, we just got some, I think 2, 3 crores, 4 crores of finally scientific mining that's starting to take place, and the royalty factor coming in. So now I expect that will come in. So therefore, these factors obviously maybe IIM and others have not included.
Bangladesh also, the situation in Bangladesh is responsible primarily for
The drop.
this year's dip, for example.
Yeah. So non-tax revenue is that. So I agree with you. So non-tax revenue has not been as buoyant as it should be, or it's not been as buoyant as the others are. So the small dark purple one is what the non-tax revenue is. The small amount, 5. So you can see it's remaining the same, and that's primarily because of the fact that we mentioned that majority of that comes from the royalties. Majority, as I said. So therefore, that aspect will not grow so fast as we would want it unless we are able to completely bring in all the amount. But yes, I take that point. But
Okay,
I'm working on it. But I mean, you know the challenges. So
Okay,
it's not
sir.
that simple.
The last
Yeah,
point,
yeah.
what I could like
Yeah,
to
yeah,
conclude, is regarding the percentage of the sectors allocated from the total expenditure. In 2012-13, the development sector or the development activities have been allotted 72.3% of the total expenditure. 2023-24, the development sector or the development activities have been allocated 51.38% of the total expenditure, while the non-development expenditure has increased in the 2023-24. The share of non-development activities.
Yeah.
Now, let me just come in here, just to enlighten the audience. The development sectors, it consists mostly of the priority sector, which we call the social sector, education and health. So the allotment to the social sector has gone down. That is basically what I am seeing. So
madam, I mean, can I be very blunt with you? So means basically your analysis is pure theory and pure books analysis. So you're giving very purely theory-based thing. It cannot work like that in governance. So you have to, you and I know both. We are both numbers people. I can take the same number and I can show it to you in different way. It'll mean different thing, and the same number you can show it to me and it's in different thing. That's not how we look at overall development. So if you look at the development aspect, maximum amount has gone to development only. Show the
Revenue expenditure.
yeah. Yeah. So if we, no, is it? Yeah, revenue expenditure also. So again, if you look at it, the part that you're talking about right now is actually the part of this, where is that? But the others was there, no?
The other revenue expenditure.
Yeah, other one. That orange one, there used to be, that you have to have that orange thing, no?
This is the slide. Just go back. This is the slide on other revenue expenditure. So from 3,200.
Ha, yeah. No, it was orange earlier, I remember.
Yeah.
I don't know why it went, anyway. So I was looking for orange because I remember the orange one. It's okay, leave it here. So if you look at the revenue expenditure of the salaries, it's all going up from 2,000 to 4,300. I explained because it's mainly because of the pay commission also, and obviously we have to recruit more people when it comes to like doctors, teachers, education, and all that stuff. But if you look at the 3,214, the others, which actually should have been orange, I don't know why it's not coming orange, maybe there's some screen problem. That is all development expenditure. That is going to farmers. That is exactly, with this money we made 30 food processing units. So today the lakadong is being processed and being sold to other parts of the world is coming from this money. The food processing plant that we put up in Rongara, in Tikrikil, there we go. So now, now this is the one I was looking. It's the same chart, but the color was different. So you can see the orange color. This is purely development aspects because our running expenditure is the one that's below. So you can see that even from the revenue expenditure point of view, the maximum amount is going for development. We cannot put it as capital because capital means technically tendering, road, construction. But this is also a development oriented because this is the money we spend, as I said, on food processing units. This is the money that we give to our homestays. This is again capital development, but again, it's not under capital, technically speaking, because it's not tendering and all. We give the money to the beneficiary, and the beneficiary takes it. So that's what it is, madam. So I mean, you can look at the reports and say whatever details and say that why is this orange color, why is it green color? It should be different. But the point is the larger picture of seeing the growth and overall areas that we're going forward with. And and we can sit on a different platform because here really we're looking at some kind of suggestions to come in. I'm not here to go and discuss about AG report and all that. So this is a more of an intellectual and academic discussion that you and I are having, which is fine with me. I have no problem in that. I can go on also. But I don't think it's leading to the purpose that we are here for. We're really looking at how to come up with right policies in the matter. I can sit down with you and argue with you with all the AG numbers, but I mean, I think on this platform, I think we can go ahead with something more on the positive note in terms of suggestions.
Okay, sir. That's what my
and tourism policy also is there, and also the manufacturing sector going down is a percentage when you mentioned earlier, because that's how it is. We don't have manufacturing. It's a fact. Because maximum of our GSDP now, the growth is taking place in agriculture, is taking place in service sector. So service sector is growing. So again, if you look at it from that point of view and say that why is manufacturing going down, fine, you can say that. But then you have to see where it's growing. The growth is in tourism because that's where our strength is. So when you say manufacturing means what? We'll have more cement plants. Manufacturing is what? We'll have more ferroalloy plants. So it's not really matching that line. The growth is there. MSMEs are growing very fast. But compared to a growth in the service sector, it's not growing as fast as the service sector is growing. So because tourism is really booming. We have, almost a jump of about 30% in the tourism growth that we had. We had agriculture growth has grown, huge numbers have grown. The farming area just for Lakadong itself was 1,000 acres when we had hectares, when we had taken over in 2018. Today we are touching almost 20,000 hectares in terms of Lakadong growth and double, So 1,000 to 2,000 now. So we doubled the farmers, number of farmers is more, Number of farmers has gone to 20,000, but the number of the hectares has doubled from 1,000 to 2,000 hectares. So the relative growth compared to manufacturing has been far more in agriculture and service sector, and that's the reason why those numbers reflect the way that you have said.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So, good afternoon, sir. My name is Penwan Bor Seliang, and I'm represent from the Sunjuk Kirang Bakshnong of Riboy district. And I'm very glad to got this opportunity, sir. So I have 2 points to give a suggestion regarding this pre-budget consultation. My first point is, as we know, the Riboy district is the aspirational district. So we cannot deny that from the MDA government, they have done a tremendous work to uplift our district. So regarding our district, we have faced lots of problems in protection of river and stream. We have lots of river and stream in our district. So from the Sunjuk Kirang Bakshnong, we are concerned to keep many river and water stream clean and clear. So our suggestion, sir, we would like to request you to kindly allocate some funds regarding to make this small check dam and then make fish sanctuary so that it will help to protect their environment. And secondly, sir, in a past few years, we have seen that the government, through the PHE department, they have implemented this Swachh Bharat mission, and they used to provide some fund for the household to making the soak pit. But as of now, sir, we have found that there is no fund for the household to make this soak pit, because through this system we can reduce for this wastewater which came from the household. It will help to distill the water come from the public side drain and into to the mainstream, sir. And last but not the least, sir, my second point is we are appreciating the NDA government and the MDA government regarding this Jal Jeevan mission. So lots of our many village in our locality, we are very happy. And at the same time, sir, we know that are some villages in Riboy district that they found a problem regarding after the contractor has completed the work, sir. But till date, some of them they didn't get the bill, sir. So regarding to implement for the JJM, we have the Village Water and Sanitation Committee. So the headman is the chairman. So from time to time, the contractor used to come and discuss with us regarding to clear the pending bills. So from time to time, from the Senjuk, we have a meeting with the executive engineer of the division regarding to clear the pending bill of the contractor. So as of now, the VWFC, we collect 50 or 100 rupees from the household for maintenance of this water tap and all.
It's very good.
So we are feared, sir. We are afraid that this contractor one day maybe they will come and ask that all the funds that you have collect from the household, you have to pay the pending bill.
No.
So we are request you, sir, to kindly take initiative regarding this pending bill to clear it in a few in this few months. That's all the suggestion from our Senjuk Kirang Bashnong Riboy district. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. I think they're very good points. I think I'll just mention about Jal Jeevan. This is something obviously affecting many people. So the payment, as you're aware, is pending for the entire nation. About 2 lakh crores worth of bills are pending. What has happened is that Jal Jeevan was a mission mode program. And this mission ended on March 2024. So what happened was that since the cabinet had approved this, so any project or any payments post 2024 March was not then released by Finance Department. This is Government of India. So all the states have been asking for this. There was a recent meeting on the 28th, I think, of January, where all the states met the Jal Jeevan minister, and all the states have been complaining, all. So in that meeting, I can tell you what happened. I wasn't there, but our minister was there. That Government of India has given an assurance that very soon they will start releasing the funds. Finance had finally approved things. I think Cabinet had approved it, but they had asked for an audit to be done of all the projects, which again took about a year to be done. I think all of that exercise has now been completed. And I think according to what the minister told us, for us also, Meghalaya also about 2,000 crores worth of bill is pending. But for the nation as a whole, it's about 2 lakh crores. So all the contractors in the whole country today are suffering, and we also are suffering. We have given whatever we could from the state side in terms of the state share, even in advance, so that they could get some relief. But obviously the rest of the amount is something we can't pay. Government of India has to pay. So we are hopeful that that will come through. So we are working on that. The second point, the first point you mentioned was about the check dams. That is something definitely we are doing. Already we have a large number of projects going on in this. If there is any specific area that you would like us to take into account, please, you can write to me separately. I would be more than happy. This is something that I have been really bullish and passionate about, and I would like to see many check dams come up. So we have funds for these. We have different projects that are going on, and I will definitely be able to take this up.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
I think we'll just have one more maybe, because I'll have to go. Because I'll have to leave for Tura actually now.
Yeah, okay. I have one compliment, maybe 2 recommendations, and 1 prayer or complaint. Number 1 to compliment is basically we are very grateful. Last time we had a discussion regarding bamboo as this thing, and you took it, you said you'll take 6 months to show, and exactly in the 6th month you had the bamboo as a climate change project which has been done. The other 2 point is this, that the agri-mechanization which we talked, and I think one gentleman from Garo Hills and then madam from Nehu, they have also rightly said, in terms of upskilling our people, and agri-mechanization as such in all the other sectors, like you're talking about masonries and other, industries, the construction industries, it's also very key. And as he just said about having some issues in terms of the conflict and other issues also, even last time I said it might turn into, because we can't have illegal immigrants coming and doing the work for us in the labor force, especially in agriculture. So I think we need to know more about that, and I don't know what has the government done in last
For mechanization?
Yes.
Okay.
So that is one thing.
I think Vijay can talk about it.
Yeah, that is one thing. The other thing is, of course, the skilling part of that, and creating entrepreneurs through that mechanization ecosystem also is a very key part of it. In terms of the climate change and climate resilient economy that you have talked, we have seen that document. We also need to protect the local people, as in terms of the local projects which is happening. Of course, from the government side, there's a lot of things are happening, but even at the private level also, we are having a lot of projects coming up directly with the community organizations are working. So I think you need to really revisit that part in terms of having the land rights, because you're locking a land for 30 years, 20 years for your common credit projects, and how credible, how things are going to go and move. That should be the thing. So these are the two recommendations. I have one more recommendations, which is basically for the landless youth, landless farmers. Last time I told about the livestock farmers, poorest to the poorest. We have already submitted certain documents with Dr. Vijay from the Farmers Union in terms of the list of farmers that we can identify and we can give, and we can start as a pilot. So that also was from the previous year. And the only complaint I would like to say, and the prayer is this, that we are doing a lot of projects in terms of the Farmers Union. In fact, as of now, we already have another 2 carbon projects, climate change projects. These are innovative projects. But what happens is, basically, last time we had told you in the last meeting, last year, about the bamboo, how it can be leveraged and all. And we find a state agency which has been created. But there was no discussion with us. There was no discussion with us. We all of a sudden, 12th of September, we see that there is something which is not coming.
Because 6 months was the time, so I had to stick to that.
No, it's not about that. In terms of the discussion with us, in terms of the stakeholder, taking them understanding.
I understand. I agree with that. I think that's a fair point.
So in the same way, we would like to be a part of the growth of
no,
the
because
state.
I mean, I agree with you in that totally, because at the end of the day, you're connected with the people who are going to benefit.
Correct.
So if we're not able to understand what they want,
yeah,
then we're going to obviously do the things that may not be the most efficient things.
Correct.
So I totally agree with this. I think we can ask the agency to sit down with them once and figure that. And future, we'll have to make sure that, actually normally we do it. I don't know how it wasn't missed out.
Never done.
Yeah, that's strange, because normally for everything, we're very, very particular. Please put it in public domain. Please discuss with stakeholders. We're not going to, if something comes to cabinet and it's not been discussed, we don't allow. We send it back. We say, please open it up to public for 30 days, and then we'll see. So I'll revisit this one and ensure that in the future, this is implemented more strictly.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Just to add to this, Mr. Lanohi said, so I just add one more point. In fact, we from the Hill Farmer Union, we are very thankful to the government for the market intervention scheme. You call it CMASHA, so from our side we call it the market intervention scheme. Yeah. So we want the government to maybe increase the budget, and just because in all other produce, it's not just the broom which you have intervened. So in case if there is any distress for farmer in terms of the price, so you can also look into through the market intervention scheme. For example, right now, even ginger also, we do not have the fair price. So in all the produce during the distress only, so you can just intervene with your.
I mean, we would love to do that. It's just that we have to see, because again, for government, what is the most difficult thing to do is that once you take that one step forward, you can't take it back. So so we have to be very careful when it's like ad hoc schools. Once we take one ad hoc school, there's no question of going back. So once we take the products, and suddenly we realize that we cannot support the farmers because their number has gone up to 4 lakhs now, and the amount required for this is like 2,000 crores, then I'll be in a very, very difficult position.
Okay, sir. You are also aware this scheme, in fact, it's a good model. Yeah. See, you might have invested 100 crore. Otherwise, you will be spending just 30, maybe 20, just 30 Why? Because the government is getting back the whatever they have invested.
Yeah.
We return that. In fact, the government is getting back as a credit.
Yeah.
So technically, you will be invested just 70 crore, let's say, out of 100. So this is a very good model. So you can do the same with the other product. It's not like you have just.
So you multiply it into 10 and it goes to 1,000 crores. then you say, oh, government has only got to spend 700. So the scaling is something. I don't disagree with you.
Yes.
If you ask me, I want to do it for all. You're absolutely right. It's just that I want to be very careful so that I don't overcommit, because then it becomes not just a scheme, it becomes an entitlement. And then once it becomes an entitlement, then it's like, as I said, certain grants are there, then the grants become entitlement, entitled becomes salary, and then we are in a tremendous pressure that tomorrow it will be like, where is the same assured scheme? Why haven't you given us our assured scheme? So it's like that. So I have to be very careful while we do this kind of things, not because we don't want to, but because the message that goes and the expectation that we build up, because we don't want to leave our people, hanging in, after announcing it and not doing it. I think that would be something that we want to avoid. So yeah.
So I'll just mention quickly, sir, the point. And again,
but I'm not saying no. I'm
Okay,
just saying that we'll examine it.
I'll just mention, so winter crop, I think you have some budget for winter cropping. So I appreciate the government. So we should, in fact, so that we can around the year do the farming activities. Sir, why they are not doing round the year? Just because they do not have the proper irrigation and water. But sir he has allotted some fund regarding the winter crop. So I would like the government to
Absolutely. I agree with that also.
Yeah, and again, sir. And again, sir, one more thing, just for your, I think you may be aware or know it. Our farmer, they are not the round-the-year farmer. They are just like seasonal. So maybe 6 months or 3 months. So they will be involved some way or the other into the labor activities. So if you can, I don't know whether the government of India have not guaranteed or something like that, they have changed that or something. So if the government can consider putting some fund in terms of allotment for the labor, I don't know that guaranteed scheme is coming or not, they have changed the scheme. So see, because in terms of livelihood, it's a labor work and then the farming in the village. And still till today, maybe farmer, we are still around 70 to 80% in our state. So if we talk about 10 billion or whatever billion, and if this money is not being distributed among the farmer, among the labor, I will not be happy, sir. So please look at that.
Yeah.
That investment should be also.
Exactly. I would rather say investment.
Yes,
I don't want to use a fund being thing, because
investment. Yes,
everything we do should be done in a manner that is justifiable.
Yes.
So that's why if you've seen our expenditures, I think you will know better than anybody. The amount of work we have done for the farmers
we appreciate that.
is uncomparable, in the past. And how we've been communicating to the farmers. In fact, farmers, youth, these are key factors in our system. Women, that's why gender budget is very important. So if in all of this, if you look at it, we are ensuring that we invest. So giving money is not something that we believe is sustainable. But giving them a scheme, a program, or creating a mechanism through which they can then become self-sufficient, and we help them create that mechanism, is what we believe in. Yeah. So therefore, that's the reason why only distress time, difficult times, we have to be with them, because then there's no option. Yeah. But wherever possible, I would rather say we invest. That's the correct word I'd like to use.
Yes, I agree with you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
so
sir.
much.
Thank you.
Sir, that is the thing why we need to have the agri-mechanization, because...
So agri-mechanization, Vijay can just talk about agri-mechanization.
Yeah, because we need the labor, as he said.
So there is a scheme that's going on, but I think we expansion for that. Yeah. Yeah, we started it. I think you remember we started in 2-3 locations. We started a program where we are renting out, the mechanism, the machines. Yeah, we have custom hiring centers. Yeah, yeah, it's a bit. But we take your point.
No, the point here is this: that because of the Manrega have been stopped now, there's the guaranteed assured 100 days is not there. What he says is our farmers are going for the labor work, right? If we give mechanization, we give the tools, then the experience to do it, they can do much more faster.
Yeah, totally.
And the beneficiary would be the government and the people and our projects, because most of the climate change projects are time bound, has to do in a large scale, which
Absolutely.
required mechanization, and that's where they are going to earn their livelihood, which will be much better,
Sure.
including all your EAP programs that can be used.
Yeah.
So that is the reason why we want this to be pushed very
Sure.
hard.
I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be again done immediately, but it's definitely on the cards. We are working on it.
But keep us in the consultation.
Yeah,
That's the main
absolutely.
thing, because
No,
we have
as
done
you
that.
said, see, ultimately, see, people ask me, ultimately, what is it that the government wants to achieve? If you ask me in one word, it is livelihood. That's it. Everything we do boils down to job creation and livelihood. So therefore, how do we make it better? You see? So you mentioned about farmers. That's exactly what we want to do, and make sure that we can create more livelihood. You talked about masonry. There's an opportunity. Our boys and girls can do it. So we just need to provide that platform to do it. I was mentioning about externally aided projects. A lot of people complain, say, consultants, but half the people working there are our local boys and girls. That you don't realize. Maybe one or two the experts are coming in, but majority of the people who we are training are our local boys and girls. They are picking up. They're coming in. They're becoming consultants. They're learning the level of World Bank, and then these people then are able to do other implementation and projects all local. So everything we do, at the end of the day, boils down to livelihood. Why are we giving incentives? What is Unnati? What is MIPA? We're giving it because we're giving you incentive. Please come, set up your business here. But jobs has to be given 90% to our people. The managerial posts, 50% has to go to our people, because we understand managerial levels, the expertise may not be there. So like this, I mean, for me, agriculture is the most important form of livelihood, because 70% of our population is involved in that. So, I mean, rest assured, I cannot say that I can do everything now, but you know better how our commitment is. You've seen the different levels of participation and growth we have done. A long journey to go ahead. It's not easy. It's not going to be like that we can resolve everything. But I think we are maybe better off than where we were. I'm not saying we are completely, the best in all these things. Not at all. But, your suggestions, your points are well taken. And I assure you that we will keep you in the loop in the future in all these discussions that we do.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, we'll conclude with that.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for, I think, all the inputs that you have given. There is a slot for a closing note, but I think, would you like to still say something to conclude?
No, only. I don't think. I think you're tired of seeing my face and listening to my voice, so I don't want to irritate you anymore. But I do want to thank you all for coming, and I'm sure that there'll be many more who give suggestions. Please remember, suggestions don't have to be just in this budget consultation. You can send suggestions to us anytime. We are maybe one of the most responsive kind of systems. I mean, we cannot do all of it, but at least it helps me to understand. As
CM Connect.
Yeah, CM Connect. CM Connect helpline is there. You can just talk to me also. You can call me also. And as I said, our decisions are literally made by certain moments we realize something is happening. Like what Vijay said, that there was a program for CM Farm. That moment made us decide, because the farmers said that give us the seeds, give us a plantation, and we'll do it. And we just sat down in the car. We said, let's come out with a scheme, and let's give CM Farm scheme to the farmers so that they can come up with plantation. So no suggestion is small. No suggestion is irrelevant. Everything matters because it is in the larger interest of the people and the state. And I think that's really the bottom line of everything that is there. I know that all of you have got a lot of questions and all to be answered, but because of paucity of time, we can't go into all those aspects. But I think, I hope this discussion will continue in the future. I'm sorry we could not spend all the time. I have to rush to Garo Hills now, so I'll have to leave immediately after this program. But once again, I just can say thank you to all of you, and let's hope that we're able to create an inclusive budget. That's our objective, and able to take up the suggestions that you've given, and we'll see you on 20th of February. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for that high levels of energy and clarifying most of the things. So I think now nourishment is waiting for everyone. So lunch is ready. Thank you so much. And the email is here. This is the QR code. All the presentations, the vision document, the tourism policy, all those are on the QR code. Anybody who wants can download it. And email is there. And CM Connect helpline is there, 1971. Anybody wants to give budget suggestions also, they can be given on that helpline. They will all be kind of processed. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.